appreciate this.
Yeah?
I hope that all you people listening, I hope you appreciate
You guys appreciating it?
I hope you better be appreciating it really hard right now. I can feel it in the past because the Elden Ring DLC unlocked on Steam an hour ago, but we have a full RageSelect podcast.
We have to do a podcast for you guys.
We got to do a podcast. Welcome back to the podcast here on RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
I'm Amanda.
Fortunately, we've got a good chunk of interesting stuff this week.
Nice.
Also, less stuff, I think, because last week was all the big game news, right?
Yeah.
Except for we got a big Nintendo Direct. We got Nintendo is bringing all the directs.
There's only like 3 things I want to talk about, so we're going to blow past all the other ones.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, let me get more details. I'm going to be like, no.
Because that's definitely our track record in the past.
Well.
It's just, yeah. So, also, hey, I have a pro life tip for everybody.
Yeah?
I bought some fermentation jars a few weeks back.
Yeah, like mason jars.
Yeah, making sandwiches. And they got this little there's like a nipple you put on the top of it where it can let
fart out the air,
the gas go.
So it doesn't explodey.
Yeah, and so I decided that my first fermentation would be some red onions to put on my sandwich, because that sounds good, right? I did not account for the fact that I was going to have a box full of farting onion smells for the 2 weeks that it takes to ferment this.
I swear to God, it's not me onion farting yet. It's soon though.
Soon, not right now though. So I put the jars in a banker box.
Yeah.
And I put the banker box in my bathtub, and I put a towel over the banker box in my bathtub, and I closed the shower curtain, and I turned on the fan in the bathroom in my bedroom. So just, hey, if you're gonna lacto ferment stuff, take into account that you're gonna have
farts. That's
smells.
part of it.
So yeah, that happened to me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but fortunately I can't smell anything because I've been smoking for 20 years. So
Nice.
I
did not notice onion smell when I came into your place.
It is in my bathroom in a banker box and a towel over it.
It's like a whole secret spot.
Yeah. Anyway, pro tip, life hacks from RageSelect. Amanda, before we get to all of the news,
Yes.
I watched a movie last week.
Yay.
I've been on this kick where I'm just all I care about is what the score is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking for movies on Rotten Tomatoes that have a over 80 audience and critic score, and I want the audience and critic score to be within about 4 points of each other.
Wow.
I don't want there to be a big swing.
There's a whole criteria.
Yeah, because if it's got a high audience score and a low critic score, that means it's trash. And if it's got a high critic score and a low audience score, that means it's probably going to bore me.
Pretentious as shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want them to both be high, and I want them to be with close to each other.
They're high. I'm high.
Yes.
I enjoy the movie.
And I don't care about the genre, the actor, I don't care about anything. That is literally
the only criteria.
The only thing I care about is the score.
Wow, what'd you watch?
So I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes, and I saw that there was this one movie on there that had this really high score, and I was a little flummoxed. It was called The Hitman, and it's on Netflix. And I was like, well, because Netflix movies tend to be terrible.
Yes.
I was excited for that J-Lo Atlas movie, and then it got a 40, and I was like, I'm not going to watch that. So it's a very weird movie. Mm-hmm. Well, no, it's actually not a weird movie. It was a very good movie. It's about a kind of a nerdy guy.
Who's in it? Because it sounds familiar.
So I didn't recognize the main person. I recognize Retta was in it, from Parks and Recreation. She was in there. There were some people. The main guy is somebody. I don't know who.
The main guy is somebody.
It's Richard Linklater's latest movie, and basically what it's about is about this guy who's kind of a nerd, and he gets he works for the cops doing surveillance in his spare. He's a teacher, but he does some pickup work for the cops in his spare time. It's based on a real person.
Oh, that's cool.
Except for some parts of it are dramatized, and then eventually he kind of gets he kind of starts to have to do this thing where the cops are doing stings for people that are taking out hits on other people. So when somebody says, "Oh, I want to hire a hitman," they send a cop in. He gets the person to admit that they want to do that, and then the cops swing in and take the person down.
Yeah.
And so this guy kind of gets drafted into doing it, and it turns out he's really good at it. Like
Yeah.
he's really good at figuring out. Like there's a point there I saw in the trailer where like this.
Yeah.
There's a point where he briefly just does Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
Yeah. Okay, good. It looked really familiar. Like the actor looks really familiar. He's
Yeah.
been in he was in some bullshit romantic comedy with Sydney Sweeney. I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell.
And so eventually he meets this lady kind of through the thing, and then it's like, oh, it's romance and thrills and chills and like it's back and forth, and who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, I really liked it, except for the end.
Oh, yeah? Disappointing or just kind of, and then
Well,
it's done.
It's kind of I don't know if you I don't want to get into specifics because I don't want to spoil it, but like what I will say is that certain movies have a tone to them, and then like something can happen that doesn't match that tone. And that's kind of what happened here, where there was like a kind of a lighthearted it's a rom-com and we're all it's sexy and people are doing stuff, and then at the end there was like this thing that happened, and I was like, there seems to be very little gravity on what just happened here at the very end, and then everybody has and then the end of the movie happened. It was like, but other than that, it was great. I liked most of the rest of it. It was on Netflix. It was like 2 hours long. It wasn't too
That's not
difficult,
bad. Yeah.
but
I got used to that actor's face.
yeah.
Glenn Powell, and he's going to be in Twisters.
Is he the new guy?
He's the new guy.
Oh, well,
I mean, he's kind of the old guy. He's been in a couple of Netflix original romantic movies. He was also in Anyone But You recently. I just looked him up, but I was like, I know this guy.
yeah.
He was in Twisters. He was also in Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, that's where I probably have seen him before.
So he's like in a bunch of shit. It seems like he's the guy, except to me, he looks very generic, which might work for Hitman, but I think in general, I'm just like, and he's like just a guy.
He's like the new Taylor Kitsch or Kish or.
Oh my God, that was forever ago.
I remember, what was the guy? God, there was like a bunch of them back in the early 2000s where they kept like, here's the new guy. And it was like, it's just another Canadian, like a white guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
The one thing about that movie that also that I will say is that they do the thing in the beginning where they dress him nerdily and then they make him put on glasses and his hair is kind of down.
Yeah.
And they're like, what a schlubby guy. And I'm like, this dude is cut, man. Like,
you're like, he's hot.
yeah. Like, I mean, he looks like that because you've got him wearing plaid pants with a pocket protector on.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I feel like most people would look at this guy and be like, just take those clothes off and you will be fine.
He's literally like, she's all thatting it, where they're like, just take your glasses off. And he does, and all of a sudden he's Fabio. Like,
take your overalls off.
Yeah.
He needed a little more of that, like Christopher Reeves when he was Clark Kent would like slump and kind of like he had a whole aspect about it.
Yeah.
But
well, it's hard to ask people to be Christopher Reeves.
True. Next up on my list, next week I'm going to watch this animated thing called Mars Express that's on went on VOD this week, and it's like a French animated Ghost in the Shell futuristic type of thing.
Cool.
But I have something briefly to say because I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes, 100 a critic at 87 audience, and I went to the 87 audience, and somebody in the audience score gave it 1 star because Fandango fucked up their seats, and I'm like, that is not allowed.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the quality of the movie.
Yeah. And we've talked about your desire to have a you can look at all the ratings and then a filter system to remove bullshit.
Yes. I would desperately want that. I wish that I could make AI do that. I wish I could make ChatGPT do that.
Come on, ChatGPT.
Like, you're supposed to be you're doing all this harmful wreckage all over the world. Can you at least tell me what the score is when you filter out the words Fandango?
At least help me watch a movie.
Woke and SJW, because I don't care about any of that stuff. What about you? See anything good? Watch anything good? Play anything good?
We are watching Twin Peaks because I have never watched it all the way through.
Oh.
And so I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. It's time. My 14-year-old niece is further along in the series than I am right now.
Okay.
Because she decided she wanted to watch it. And
I'm kind of surprised at how big of a Lynch fan you are.
I know. Well, yeah, but you have to understand. And I think you'll understand. I'm not a good TV watcher.
No, I know this.
So.
You want to just be... You want 90 minutes to 2 hours.
If this were a movie, I would have already seen it 4 times.
Yes.
But I have to get through 2 seasons, 2 movies, and then another season. And I just...
I think it's only 1 movie, right? Fire Walk With Me?
Oh, I thought it was 2.
No,
I don't know why
1.
I had it in my head there was 2.
Well, you know that season 2 isn't as good as season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And
season 1 is only 8 episodes. Season 2 is 24 episodes.
And it starts to get a little much in the middle where you're like, actually, wait a minute. You're telling me that you and I played all the way through both Alan Wake 1, 2, and the DLCs, and you never seen Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
I've
seen the first season. Like, I've gone through the first season. Mm-hmm. So what happens is every couple of years I go, I got to watch Twin Peaks. And I watch the first season and I go, I'm going to take a break.
Yeah.
And then I never come back. And then a couple of years later I go, I should watch all of Twin Peaks.
Yep.
And then I watch the first season again because I haven't seen it in so long. Mm-hmm. And then after the first season, I go, I should take a break.
Right.
And so this time, no breaks. None. The breaks are off. We're going straight through.
Okay. So where are you at?
I'm still in season 1. You have to understand that this decision was made on Monday.
Okay.
We recorded this. Recording this on Thursday,
yep.
So it's been only a couple of days. I am mostly through it. I think after tonight, I'll finish it or be like an episode or 2 away from it, and then we're just going through. I want to be in season 2 by the weekend, so we're like plowing through it.
Where are you planning to watch Fire Walk With Me?
What do you mean?
Well, Fire Walk With Me is a prequel to the entire thing.
Oh, I'm assuming because we haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
So probably after the 2nd season.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know if nobody's said to watch it in a different order. So I assumed it would be season 1, season 2,
just
then
chronological.
The movie. Yeah. Because nobody was like, you should watch this in a different spot.
Oh, yeah. Well, even though it's a prequel, I don't think it would. I don't think it would I think it makes more sense if you already know the town as opposed to like watching that beforehand. I don't know. It would never occur to me to watch it beforehand. I guess the question is, I was just curious whether I think it makes more sense to watch that after season 2 than to watch it after The Return, because The Return is so much further forward.
Yeah. Oh, I was definitely going to do it essentially chronological. It's fun. I suggest anyone that hasn't watched it in a long time to watch it, and then keep in mind that Kyle MacLachlan's doing a David Lynch impersonation the whole time, because it's delightful.
Oh, except David Bowie is in the Fire Walk With Me very briefly. Very, very briefly.
Is he going backwards? Is that a spoiler?
No.
Can I tell you that I got so Twin Peaks is a mainstream show, right? Like everyone knows about it. Literally video games reference all the time.
Sure.
But people do not talk about like the big mystery. People always talk about like who killed Laura Palmer.
Right.
That's the whole crux of the series, but nobody comes out and goes, it was this person.
Right.
This person did it. It's well known or whatever. So I didn't know.
Oh.
And I was talking to my coworkers and I was like, I'm watching through Twin Peaks for the first time, and the very next thing somebody said to me was, it's so crazy how this person did it under these circumstances. And I was like, I said for the first time. And I was like joking, like, haha, wow, you really spoiled that for me. And then they got aggro mad.
Yeah.
Sorry, I ruined a 30-year-old series. And it's like, okay, I don't mind spoilers. And I was joking.
Right.
But
read the room a little bit.
yeah, like when I say, like, I would never do that to anybody. I do not understand.
Yep.
But yeah, they're real.
Well, I can tell you this. One, depending on how far they went into it, the question of who killed Laura Palmer is like one of those things where there's an answer and then there's like 2 more seasons of television to explain that answer.
Yeah.
It's like 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Yeah.
There's like way more behind it than just that.
John tried to comfort me when I told him about it, and he was like, I was less mad about that and more mad that they were mad at me for even bringing up that it was a spoiler. But John was like, I mean, when you find out, it's like the least important thing. And I was like, okay, I mean, I get it. And I also wasn't expecting people to like be hush hush about it, but it was just a weird situation.
Also, I have a personal connection to Twin Peaks: The Return.
Oh,
I don't think I may have talked about this before.
I think you've talked to me about it.
So in Twin Peaks: The Return, David Lynch's character has like a secretary / assistant lady that is like
his own Diane.
Sort of, yeah. And that character is played by a woman named Christabel, who used to be in a swing jazz band here in Austin, Texas, that I used to go see every single week because I had the biggest crush on her. I even went out to dinner with her one time at the Macaroni Grill. So, but I was
Macaroni Grill.
Well, it was like 1994. Okay,
woo her with Macaroni Grill, Jeff.
No, I had zero game. To be honest, I look back on the things on young Jeff, and it's just like, man, if you had just done something, you probably could have done something. But you just kept showing up and like talking, and you never really. And then I asked her out one time, she said yes, and it's like, ugh. So anyway, these are the sins of young Jeff. I can't, that guy. He's like 30 years behind me.
It's too late now.
So don't worry, don't cry for young Jeff. But just when you're watching Twin Peaks: The Return, and when she shows up, you'll be like, Jeff took that girl to the Macaroni Grill one time.
I'm gonna be like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme pointing at the TV.
Yeah. So anyway, that's your trivia. That's your Jeff trivia for the day.
Yay! Getting a little more insight into his life.
That's right. Great band though. 8.5 Souvenirs. Go look it up online.
Nice.
And go listen to it to this day. We have a Nintendo Direct.
Huzzah!
There is no segue from the Macaroni Grill to Nintendo. So we're just.
Do you guys want to play the Switch and go eat some Macaroni Grill?
Go to Macaroni Grill. They let you write on the tablecloth with the crayon. So in Nintendo Direct, it was said beforehand that this was definitely not going to have the Nintendo Switch 2 in it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were expecting it to be kind of like meh. But to be honest, the Nintendo probably brought one of the more exciting directs they've had in a while.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Lots of stuff. I actually, when I was watching this, I was rewatching the live stream, and I thought that it ended about halfway through. I thought that because of the timeline that it was like, I thought they ended with the new Mario Party.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that was okay. And everyone was like, I can't fucking believe it. So anyway, we started out with a new Mario game, Mario and Luigi Brotherhood.
Yay. Look at those two.
And this is a new Super Mario RPG game.
I really want to edit the trailer because it starts with Luigi getting attacked by bees.
Yep.
I want to take out the audio and put in Nicolas Cage from The Wicker Man.
Not the bees.
Not the bees.
Not the bees.
They're in my eyes.
Yeah, so this is the latest one. The previous of these, I believe, were all like DS games. Like there was a GBA one and there was a DS one. The strange thing about this franchise is that the company that made all those previous games, they shut down.
So this is just like fresh.
Well, I can't tell who's actually making it. There's no real. Nintendo is not upfront about that a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's being developed internally or which team is making it.
I never played the original ones, and I didn't know. I assumed this was like them trying to do their version of the 2-player co-op. You have to
work together
to get through stuff.
Yeah.
And I was so ready to ruin your life as Luigi. I was like, I'm gonna call Jeff right now. I'm gonna let him know, put my name on the calendar. And then John's like, no, that's not how it works. And I was like, well, forget it. I don't want to play it anymore.
Yeah. So it looks like, I mean, it's got a lot of what we've seen in the previous ones where there's all kinds of weird, like kind of co-op stuff. And it's got a little bit of a, like a real-time aspect where You have to to do certain special attacks. You have to do timing attacks.
Yeah.
It's got a somewhat interesting art style, this kind of hard black outline type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
It's a little strange. I think it's weird that Mario keeps having these kind of, in my opinion, weirdly different art styles. You've got how Mario looks in Odyssey, and then you've got how Mario looks in the Mario Donkey Kong minis game that came out, and then here and the sports games. I don't know. Mario he has no there's something about
is.
Yeah. I've never been the biggest fan of the Mario kind of RPG series in general. I mean, I'll give it a shot. I'm waiting for one of them to really kind of grab me.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
This one looks cute enough.
I do I wish that they had put out, maybe they will, like they did with Metroid. The final, I believe, one before this was called Bowser's Inside Story, where it was an RPG where the brothers got swallowed by Bowser as tiny men, and then they had all the levels were inside of Bowser.
That's concerning, but I'm in.
But this is coming out also this year.
Do you feel me, Bowser? Do you feel me inside of you?
November 7th.
Yeah, soon.
What do you think about the name?
Brothership? It's fine.
It's kind of mothership. I don't know.
Like friendship, but with your brother?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. This one doesn't do the most for me, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Let's see. We got another trailer for the NES World Championship game that they're putting out, which is a kind of a riff on, back in the old days they had a special cart that was for specifically the Nintendo Championships, and this is a game where you can now do these challenges plus a whole bunch more, but it's all online as well, so you can get there's leaderboards to see who can get the fastest times, which is kind of cool because I don't know if there's ever been a mainstream title like this where it's we're making speed running as an esport and then everybody can play it. Definitely not my bag.
Yeah, I was that's really cool that it exists. I never will ever utilize this.
Yeah.
That's not the way I play video games.
I think that one of the
speed run is not a concern of mine.
I think that this is coming out July 18th, and I think one of the most interesting things about this is the physical edition that they're putting out, because this gold cartridge, the cartridge for the NES championships is one of the most expensive collector's items because there were all very limited number for the championships. So, but yeah,
that's pretty cool.
They're putting that out. The way that there's a subtitle there that said NES Game Pack not playable. It's okay, guys.
Yeah.
Let's see. From there's a lot going on in this Nintendo Direct that I don't know how much we are going to have to say about it.
Well, just by looking at it, I'm not going to have anything at all to say about it.
Fairy Tail 2 is another... Fairy Tail is a very popular anime that I tried watching and then just got bored of eventually. This is, an RPG. They only ever make anime tie-in games for the animes that I like. They either don't make them or they suck ass. The weird thing about this trailer, though, is it looks like somebody ran a sharpen filter over the entire thing, but a bad sharpen filter. There's this part at the very beginning where it's the edges of these lines look like they've been just artificially processed to hell.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's because that's just what this software is doing on the Switch, or if it's the video or what. I don't know. There's a question kind of about the last game on this list about whether some of this stuff that we're seeing may be from maybe running on Switch 2 hardware.
Oh, interesting.
Which
I want Switch 2 hardware.
Yeah.
I just want the Switch 2.
Anyway, Fairy Tail 2, whatever.
What else?
Fine.
I'm sure you all are going to be mad at us for not caring.
Fantasian. I don't think anybody's mad anymore. Last week I glossed over roughly 2/3 of the Summer Game Fest, and
You're like, no one cares, and they're like, yeah, it's true.
This is really interesting. So this is Fantasia Neo Dimension. This is an RPG that was made by the guy, I believe.
What's with all the balls?
It's an interesting answer that made the original Final Fantasy. And this was originally an Apple arcade exclusive.
Oh.
And it's really weird because you notice how the background looks different? All of the environments are dioramas. That's what's with the balls.
Oh.
They're like physical dioramas that they built, and then they put their little CG people inside.
Wow. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. And so this was up until this announcement, you could only play it on Apple Arcade, which meant either on an iPhone or an Apple TV. I think we actually I did a video with Chris where we played this on the Apple TV. I bought an Apple TV for it. That way I could write off my taxes. It's supposed to be pretty good, but up until now, it's like how many people are playing video games on their Apple TV / iPhone?
Just you and anyone else who can get a tax write-off on it.
I do like this one mechanic they had where when you're running around and like you get into random battles, you can just shunt them to a dimension, and then when the dimension is filled up, you can go fight 30 trash mobs at a time. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea.
You just horde mode to get through everything.
Yeah,
that's kind of neat.
So I don't know. I mean, this one I never got far enough in it because I only have like one JRPG in me a year, maybe, and it wasn't going to be this one. But what's interesting is that Square is publishing it, so Square must have like fronted the bill to license it from Apple. I don't even know how that would work, but but yeah, we are going to be seeing it later this year.
Ooh, holiday season.
Nintendo Switch Sports is getting basketball. That's
woohoo.
Yep.
Jeff, there's not enough coffee in me for this.
I know. There's not enough coffee in the world to make me care about basketball first and Nintendo Switch Sports basketball second. Yeah. So
you guys want to go shoot some hoops in our living room?
Nope. Not even a little bit.
Not even kind of.
After that, we had Mio Memories in Orbit. This one looked kind of interesting. It's a little kind of robot person. Just like a little energy hair, and it looks like it's like a kind of a 2D Metroidvania, or
nice,
like 3D graphics, but like a little 2D kind of platforming exploration. I'm always a little concerned about these because there's a lot of these types of games that get made, and I feel like I don't understand exactly what the hook is here outside of you use your energy hair for attacks and platforming. So.
That's pretty too.
Yeah. I might need a little bit more information on this one before I make up my mind.
Yeah, it's got a banging soundtrack.
Colored pencil style to it. It's kind of
like pastel-y.
Yeah.
Really nice.
I don't know. You got to sell me harder, guys. I need a little bit more. Disney Illusion Island is getting DLC.
Yay.
With this big private investigator guy. I don't know what his deal is. Yeah. Did you and I play?
He's a dolphin. Yes, we did.
We played this one, right?
Dash Dolphin.
Yeah. Yep. Free update out already. Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Is getting. I mean, this has been out on the PC, I think, for a little while, but
hell yeah,
it's getting a console release. It's actually going to be on the Switch.
I'm definitely not going to play that game. You don't play hardcore games, so I'm a hardcore gamer.
I don't know. Well, I know. Okay, listen, I know that sarcasm, but this is Animal Crossing, but also with Hello Kitty, and I get the feeling that it's like, when it comes to the Three Bears of video games that Amanda plays, this one might be too soft.
It looks a little baby gamey.
Like a little bit too just
also, controversially, a brave opinion, I don't care about Sanrio.
Oh, yeah.
The only one I like, and he's in the where you just paused, he's right behind Hello Kitty. He's the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only one I like because he's the creature. He's a cute as fuck.
Who's that dog? Is that... This guy, he's
cute,
well known, right?
Yeah, they're most of them are pretty popular.
I know Keroppi and Hello Kitty,
the little goth girl in the background.
Yeah,
right. Neat. Yeah. One of them is the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Also, is that Agretsuko? Looks like her.
It does look like her.
She might be a spin-off, and I just don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't do any research on Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Yeah, how dare
you. I could be just...
I thought you were supposed to come prepared, Jeff.
Sorry. Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports look like trash. It was like trash.
Yeah.
Total and complete trash. The graphics look like shit. This was a phone game that was being ported, and Looney Tunes deserve better than this trash, garbage trash. They've deserved better than every single thing that's happened to them over the last 30 years.
They're so great, and they don't get the love because they don't got that mouse.
Actually, those new shorts that were on HBO, I watched some of those. They were pretty good. Like the new Looney Tunes things they made, that was pretty good.
God, even Porky Pig at the end looked awful.
It's just they tried to do a cell shading thing, and it looks like trash. It looks like trash.
Looks incorrect.
It looks like it'd be fine on a screen that was a phone, but not on a television.
No, that's exactly right.
Among Us got a free update. Actually, this whole direct was spoiled because they published that they were going to have an update, and that usually comes in a Nintendo Direct these days. So there's some new like roles that you can get where you can like turn invisible or track people.
Still playing this game?
I have to assume so.
Okay.
During Summer Games Fest, Inner Sloth, the developers, said that they were using their success to create a publishing company called Outer Sloth, and they were going to be funding like 5 or 6 indie games to completion. So,
I mean, it was fun, and I appreciated it, and I really liked watching people play it. But like, it just disappeared, and everyone talked about other things. I didn't know.
I think it just faded in the background.
Yeah.
I think people are still playing it.
Like Minecraft. Where it's still there.
This Felicidad game.
What the fuck?
Okay, this is like...
They got tiny trees and giant lions.
Farmagia is the name of this game. It's a farming sim. It's a farming game, but what you're farming is big groups of monsters like Pikmin that you then send into battle like Pikmin, where it's got a kind of a like you're controlling.
Don't try to sell it to me by calling them Pikmin,
You
Jeff.
grow wolves, and then you grow like 40 wolves, and then you like train your wolves, and then you like make your wolves attack a guy, and the graphics look terrible. It looks like
the ooblets. You would plant a ooblet seed, and then you would get ooblets. But you know what they did? They fucking danced.
They dance partied. Yeah. This is just anime Pikmin. It's just Pikmin, but an anime.
Yeah.
And
it's less cute in this version.
It also, I'm sorry, I can't express this enough. I'm tired of, you guys have heard it before, but I'm tired of pretending like this isn't something that needs to be pointed out. The game looks like trash on the Switch. Like it might look fine elsewhere, but it looks like...
I challenge you to find a game that you think looks good on the Switch.
That Mario and Luigi Brotherhood. Hello Kitty Island Adventure didn't look bad.
Yeah. So it's got to be kind of cute, kind of simple, and not require a lot, and doesn't have 50 fucking wolves running across the screen.
Yeah. It needs to be made for the Switch. It can't be a port of a phone game, and it can't be a game that's on some other system. That Fairy Tale game, I swear to God, that's going to be on the PS5. It's going to look way better.
Yeah.
This game is going to be somewhere else that's going to look better. It's just when you get these games that were developed specifically for a lot of consoles, and then they have to like lower everything to
dumb it down,
to run on the tablet,
or it's made for phones and then got switched over, and then it's like it wasn't going to look good anyway because like phone games don't look good.
Yeah. Well, here's a game that looks good. They're putting out the Donkey Kong Country HD remaster.
Yeah. So the only games that look good on the Nintendo are the games that Nintendo specifically made for the Nintendo.
This is actually a Wii game that they ported to the Switch, so there's a reason why it looks like good. I'm not a Donkey Kong man myself, but
me neither.
But it's good that this is out there. Actually, wait, this might have been no, it said in the thing it was a Wii game. I thought this was also on the Wii U. I swear to God that they maybe put this out on the Wii U because that was where the Funky Kong Easy mode was. Or no, that was a new one. This is a remake. Anyway, it's Donkey Kong Country. It's in 3D.
Hell yeah.
You know what happens.
You know what to do.
January 16th.
The time is nigh, Jeff.
Dragon Quest III. We knew that they were making an HD, what they call HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest III, where it's like the characters are sprites, but they're in this kind of pixelated world, this kind of voxel world, so that they match a little better, kind of like Octopath Traveler. So we knew that they were making a remake of Dragon Quest III, and they showed it, and it sure does look like Dragon Quest III.
It definitely is the thing that it is.
The combat to me looks a little weird because it's like this very sparse. You can see off into the distance, and there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
The thing is, the question had been over the last couple of weeks that there was an ad where they took the 3 off, and people started to speculate that this wasn't just Dragon Quest III, that actually, once they started development, the reason we haven't heard about it was because they decided to do Dragon Quest 3 as well as 1 and 2, because those 3 games make a trilogy. And if you play them,
so it's like the whole story essentially.
Yeah, so it actually 3 is a prequel, so it goes 3, 1, 2. So that's the reason they were putting out 3 first, was so they could put out 1 and 2, and that was the rumor, and it's true.
Yay!
They had a little thing at the end here where they had the 3 thing, and then they pan out and they show the protagonist from Dragon Quest 1, Dragon Quest 2. And so this is coming out later this year, but then 1 and 2 are coming out in 2025. And then eventually, when you play all the way through them in that order, they will be they call it the Erdrick trilogy, because it's all about the same characters, those first 3 games.
Is that where the band Descendants of Erdrick got their name from?
Yes.
Cool.
Dragon Quest 1, that was like a big... In Dragon Quest 1, the first, obviously the first game of the series, there's all these references to Erdrick, and in Dragon Quest 3, you play as Erdrick before the events.
That's neat.
Yeah.
If I were into that kind of game, I'd be hyped as fuck about it, but I'm not, so I'm not. Sorry, I don't know what to say, guys.
There's something in here for everybody.
Yeah. Are you a Funko person?
Fuck no.
Get the fuck out of here.
This is another game that is supposed to be, that's coming out for a lot of different platforms, and it looks much better on other systems. This is,
much better. It's a Funko game.
It looks a lot better. This is such a weird thing, though, because of the characters that are in here. It's a crossover multiverse game.
Yeah.
So it's like Jaws and Back to the Future, but then like
fucking Dalmatian in the background, Freddy
Fazbear, and like Umbrella Academy, Scott Pilgrim. Nope. Like, it's a very Shaun of the Dead. It's a very strange lineup of multiverse stuff, and it kind of looks like garbage. Like, to me, it looks like, wow, all your favorite B-tier properties all in one horrible art style.
Yeah.
Here's Chucky versus Jurassic Park Dominion.
Oh my God. Can I just interrupt for 2 seconds? Because this reminded me.
What's that?
2 of the 19-year-old girls that I work with were like, oh, our campus is showing Jurassic Park, like in one of their like theaters or something for free. Do you want to go? Because one of the girls is from out of town. She goes, absolutely. I've never seen it before. You've never seen the original Jurassic Park? And she goes, no, I've only seen the one with Chris Pratt. The other one's from like the 70s, right? And then the other girl, the other 19-year-old goes, no, it's from the late 80s. And then I just crumbled into dust.
Yep, and then I died right there on the spot. Yeah, that's coming out September 13th. Play it on anything but the Switch if you can. It looks like garbage on this fucking...
play it on your phone.
Play it on the Switch too, if that's a thing. If they sell it, do it then. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD got a brief mention. It's going to be out next Thursday, so a week from the day that we're recording this. The Denpa Man, the new Denpa Man is coming.
Finally. I've been waiting.
I had to look this shit up. I don't know what the fuck this is. The Denpa Man is one of these, like, you know that the Mii game where it was like an RPG, but it was all Miis.
Yeah.
Like it was your Miis and then all the other Miis from the system.
Yeah.
The Denpa Man is a lot like that as a 3DS game where you would have a Denpa Man and then you would get other Denpa Men
but
with
when
a
I
street
do it,
pass.
it's a Denpa Manda.
Denpa Man. They made 3 of these things. They put out a free-to-play phone version that didn't do very well.
Yeah, surely this will. Well, they all look like they died and are floating through heaven.
Okay, so it should be noted. They all look like they're wearing what they call like a Zentai suit, but then the face is cut out, and so you could just see the face.
They look like Teletubbies.
They look like Teletubbies.
They 100% look like Teletubbies.
It obviously is trading on that like, look how weird it is thing. I don't know why.
It's not the right kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not hitting everything I want it to.
It's not. There's a new Metal Slug game that's like a tower defense where you're like putting characters in, and so it's not like Metal Slug. It's like a tactics Metal Slug game. So it's more like they're all going in one direction attacking Metal Slug game. I don't know. This was out today. This is a phone game that they've converted into PC and Switch and stuff. I don't know.
That's fine.
Darkest Dungeon 2 is coming to Nintendo Switch. That's a good game. Go play it.
Do it.
Yep. Nintendo Switch Online got 4 new games. So Link to the Past, 4 Swords from Legend of Zelda.
4 swords.
Metroid Zero Mission, which is good because I think everybody should play Metroid games. Turok for the N64.
Fuck, I haven't played Turok in years.
If you have something besides the Nintendo Switch, there's like a full-on remake, I believe, of the first Turok game, but whatever.
No, I want it to look shitty.
And then Perfect Dark.
It's more authentic when it looks Perfect Dark. Jesus Christ, I hadn't thought about that one either.
Well, last week Microsoft showed off the remake of Perfect Dark that they're making. So I think there's a good synergy here of like, you can go grab it. So, and all that's available later today.
That's exciting and fun and exciting.
From there we got I forgot the name of this. Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero. Phantom Brave was an old PS2 game that was made by the people that made Disgaea, which is why the characters look a lot like the character from Disgaea, but it was an RPG. Apparently that game got like remade and updated a whole bunch of times, but there was never another one. This is another one. It's like a spin-off game.
Okay.
Called The Lost Hero, where it's like one of the side characters. They're on an island.
Tropical island in the sun. Oy, oy.
They're I don't know. There's some kind of weird mechanic about like turning stuff into people, and I don't know. It's just gosh.
Looks like cutie patooties.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, we'll see how much. Okay, we might have to end on this, and then come back for the rest of this because we're making less time than I thought. But this was a huge deal, Amanda.
Yes, I know. Michael let everyone know how huge of a deal it was.
Oh, okay. All right.
He posted on his everything, Instagram, Facebook stuff.
Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics is coming out. That's got X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and The Punisher.
Nice.
So a collection of fighting games and other stuff. The reason this is a big deal is apparently because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is not currently, actually The Punisher and a few of these other things as well, but like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is apparently a big deal in the fighting game community. People really like it. It's one of those games that like got a HD release in the PS3 era that was like incompatible with everything else, and like you haven't been able to play it for a billion years. Legally, there hasn't been like a system that's you've been able to like. Are you
implying that people weren't playing it legally?
I said no such thing.
I'm just saying that if they wanted to, they couldn't.
This is much more exciting to fighting game fans than it probably is to you or me.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about maybe being able to play that Punisher game than I am about this.
I mean, I played a lot of these, and so it'll be a little trip down memory lane for me, but they were never like top tier for me.
The fighting games?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, like all the Marvel versus Capcom and stuff. I played all that.
They were that was
I used
past
to
my
date
time.
a guy that worked in an arcade.
Oh, okay.
I played a lot of arcade games.
Lucky.
I know. I got all the expired candy. It was great. Highly suggested.
Expired candy and free play. Yeah, so this is a big deal. It's going to be out later this year. There isn't a specific release time, but good for Capcom for keeping game preservation alive, I guess. Let's go with that.
It's important.
And actually, you know what? We'll just end where I thought that I was going to end. Super Mario Jubilee or Super Mario Party Jamboree. Jamboree is coming out.
We should do a big Mario Party game video with a bunch of us.
I hate Mario Party so much.
It's so fun.
I hate it so much.
It's so fun. You do a real short one.
I love giving it my all, and then we get to the end, and it's like
arbitrary bullshit.
Right. Let's go to the end part. Yeah. Like, oh, who didn't get enough stars? Amanda, here's 12 stars. Who's
sorry?
Name starts with A. Amanda, here's 25 stars. Who lost the most mini games? Amanda,
whoa,
here's 60,
you can't just assume that, Jeff. How
65 stars, and it's like I worked so hard for these stars, and Amanda's got 2,000 stars, and I've got like 40.
Oh,
we go to the end game, and it was like I've got 45 stars, and everybody else has 4, and then it's like let's give everybody 6 billion stars. And
you gotta make it exciting, Jeff.
I played.
You could turn those off if I'm not mistaken.
I played the. There was a Demon Slayer version of Mario Party. I played with Bryce, and I was really happy because at the end it kept giving me more stuff. And I was like,
so it's okay when it's you winning because of it.
I didn't come here to make friends. Anyway, this is more Mario Party. It looks like there's like you have slightly more people, I guess, than before, or you can have up to 8 players, I think. All kinds of
Can you imagine if we got 8 RageSelect hosts together for this?
I don't have that many microphones.
I don't like half of these people. That's the end of RageSelect.
I mean, I guess you can play online, but I'm not buying 8 copies of a game that I don't even want in the first place. If you guys all want to buy your own, then we can go online and
discuss it.
Create a game, but yeah. Anyway, I mean, if you're into Mario Party, this is more Mario Party. The graphics look very nice.
Yeah.
It looks like it runs very well. It's full of Mario characters.
If you have 8 friends, I'm sure it's fun.
And you can play online, apparently, with randos, so you can,
I'm not playing Mario Party with randos.
Play with randos?
No. It's meant to destroy real friendships, not create new friendships.
I don't know you people, and that's not the point of this game.
Like, would you want to play Monopoly with strangers? No. You want to play Monopoly with your parents so they yell at you because you didn't sell them Park Avenue.
I don't want to play Monopoly with anybody ever.
I know.
Ever. The end.
Full stop.
I remember the day that I learned that Monopoly was made by a person as like this is why capitalism sucks. Yeah. Like a game to teach you how terrible like capitalism is.
And they got stolen out from under them and then sold.
And then it was like, well, that explains why I've never enjoyed Monopoly ever in my entire life.
You're not supposed to. It's doing its job.
Yeah. So I want to play Simon with my cousins, not Monopoly. Actually, when I was a kid, we used to play Trivial Pursuit at my grandma's house.
Nice.
And we were all children, so none of us knew the answer to any question. So we would sit there for 3 hours.
Smart, just asking questions no one knew the answer to.
It'd be like,
that's called being a philosopher.
Who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1971 for like arts and humanities? And I was like 9, and I was the eldest cousin, so it was like me and my cousin that was 8, and my other cousin that was 7, and my sister that was like 5, and my other cousin was like 2, and it was like none of us know this.
Who put that Trivial Pursuit in front of you?
That was the one my grandma had.
Grandma was just like, "You guys have fun."
Yep. So
I gotta watch my stories.
We kept trying to do it. We were too stupid and young to stop. Like we were just like, if we keep doing it, eventually somebody's got to win. There's got to be one question.
Literally, the only winning move was not to play. Jeff.
Yeah. Well, War Games wasn't out by then. This is the 80s.
Oh my God, Jurassic Park is from the 80s.
Yeah. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're going to do the rest of this Nintendo Direct, and then we've got a whole bunch of other stories. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute. And we're back.
Hang on, I don't have my glasses on. Okay, now we're back.
I'm refreshed. I got rained on. I'm going to take my dog for a walk, and it started raining. We were all the way back. And at first I was like, oh, man, I'm getting rained on. And I said, no, Jeff.
Enjoy the rain.
Any day it rains in Texas during the summer
is a
good fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even matter if it's going to be muggy as hell. I just want water on the ground.
Yep.
So anyway, Back to the Nintendo Direct. We ended with Super Mario Jamboree. And from there, we got probably, I don't know, this was one that was probably real big for a lot of people. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah.
So this is a new Zelda game. This is not a re-release or a spin-off or even DLC. I thought it was going to be DLC because it's in the same art style as Link's Awakening.
Yeah. Which I loved.
Where their trailer starts with Link rescuing Zelda and then getting swallowed up by a bunch of weird cracks in the ground.
Fell in a crack in the ground.
Yeah,
yep.
And so he gets Zelda free, and he's like, save me.
He's like, avenge me.
So this is a game where you can play Zelda.
Yay!
So Nintendo,
and she's badass, and she has a gun, and she just takes fools out.
God, I wish she had a gun.
That'd be so funny. They're like, yeah, Link has a sword.
Zelda's just got a Glock. She's got an AK-47. It's like Power World. I'm a little conflicted about this game because I like the idea of having a game with Zelda, and I like this art style relatively well. The thing is, the mechanic of the game is that Zelda has like a staff that you can use
a Smarty staff, the Tri-Rod.
Yeah,
which is a horrible name.
Is that actually what it's called? The Tri-Rod?
I believe so.
Oh, boy.
Because it's a
because there's a little
staff?
fairy called Guys. No.
Burgers and fries.
And she can use this to, like, copy a thing and then recreate that thing, apparently, like, an infinite number of times.
Yeah.
And you can copy you can copy a table and then make a table and then jump on that table.
And then you can put another table on your table and then you got two tables and you get even higher on your table.
You get even further up. And I know what you're thinking is like, well, what happens when there's like an enemy? Well, when there's an enemy, you can copy an enemy.
Yeah, or you could throw a big rock at them.
You can make another enemy. You can make an enemy to fight the enemy.
You can make an enemy that's a friend.
So I don't know. Like, the reason I'm a little hesitant here is just because this seems like a puzzle game. And I usually like Zelda when it's an action game or an adventure game, shall we say, with some action elements to it.
Yeah, it took me a couple of days of digesting this.
Yeah.
To, I guess, 2 days to come around, because I was like, I really just wanted her to have a sword and to like get action and play a Link's Awakening essentially where I'm Zelda. I think that would be way more fun. But I get it. Like, she has the like wisdom Triforce or whatever, and like it's not like I'm against puzzle games, and I like the idea that you can solve all these puzzles differently with different things and different items. Yeah. And the art style is super cute. It's fine. It's fine. Like, I'm not going to fight it. I'm probably going to play the fuck out of it. Link's Awakening is my favorite. Legend of Zelda is the only one I've beaten because it's so cute and fun. Right.
Well, I'll just say, I just had this idea, and so I want to say it out loud, even though I'm like, this isn't really all that fair. But I was just thinking when you were talking about it, how it'd be really cool to see a Legend of Zelda game where you play as Zelda and you get all the same stuff that Link has, but she uses it differently because she's not the fucking like hitting stuff with the sword. I don't know. It's better for me. Okay, so here's the deal. I have mostly enjoyed. I was a little. I had a little bit of trepidation when they decided to make A Link Between Worlds, the sequel to Link to the Past. Yeah, it was like my favorite Zelda game of all time, and I was like, guys, can you just not make an original? Does it have to be here? Like, do you attach something to this thing that I love? And I ended up really liking it. Yeah, So who knows? I may really like it. I guess I'm kind of with you where the first knee-jerk reaction is,
this doesn't feel like what I want it to feel like.
Why does she have to make copies of beds? Yeah. Why can't she make copies of fire or like?
She can make copies of like bombs.
Yeah, that's true.
That's infinite bombs, baby. Zelda's going out in style. You can make it fun. I mean, we're talking Zelda, right? Yeah. Like, you can, if you give me the option, I'm gonna beat everybody with a steel chair chair like I'm in the fucking WWE, and that's just the way it is.
You're just gonna spawn infinite
that's
chairs.
That's the bottom line, because Princess Zelda said so.
I have seen a really good meme of they should call this The Legend of Link.
Yeah.
Because you play as Zelda, and The Legend of Zelda, you play as Link. I really like that. I kind of wish that was a thing.
Yeah, I think that would have been cute.
Also, though, I was saying to you before, like, Nintendo is Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
They were never going to make, I don't think they were ever going to make the like badass Zelda game. They've wholly different cultural.
Okay, so I think if they were playing your Zelda in a Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a puzzle game, I think Link's Awakening is the one to do that with.
Okay,
but if you were doing like Breath of the Wild, but they're like, but now it's Zelda and Link's, I don't know, fucking trapped in a room and we can't get him out and we got to find a key to get him out. It's a whole thing.
He's in the bathroom.
Like, then I would be like, you can't do that as a puzzle. Yeah. Like it has to just be what like Breath of the Wild is.
Yeah.
But like Link's Awakening really lends itself to this kind of gameplay.
That also might be a limitation on my part because I didn't play that remake. Like
it's delightful.
I just never got around to it, and
it's so cute.
So maybe I just don't get the vibe of that franchise, and so it's a little different. But they're also making a Switch Lite. It's got all the Hyrule junk on it.
Yeah, it's also like canny gold.
Don't buy that. Don't buy that.
Hold off.
There's a Nintendo Switch 2. We know there's a Switch 2. They said we're not going to talk about the Switch 2. So there's another Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're some kind of weird collector person, in which case, why are you listening to this show? Or give me money.
Could be both. Listen to the show and also give us money.
Just Dance 2025 is a thing.
Great. I don't want to play it, Jeff. I don't want to play it. Put me on record.
It's really weird that they didn't.
Unless Chapel Roan's on it, then maybe.
Did they announce? I don't think they even gave this much time. No, I don't think they announced this at Ubisoft's Summer Game Fest conference.
Didn't? That's kind of funny.
I don't think they did. Or if they did, they didn't actually say which songs were going to be on there. So anyway, I do like the fact that apparently they have alternate choreography depending on the difficulty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's good, because
they did that, but it wasn't like that where you could do easy, medium, or hard. But they would have one version, and then they'd have the like super difficult version.
Right,
that was like almost a totally separate thing.
Yeah. Lego Horizon Zero Dawn, they showed that. As I said last week, it looks a lot worse on the Switch than it does on other consoles. I also don't really understand this at all. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I'm still confounded. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was an April Fool's Day kind of joke. And then it's a real thing, and I have to sit here and live with it just like the rest of you.
It's a real thing. I don't understand it.
Just play Horizon. Why do you need a Lego version? I don't understand. If you got a
Switch, you can't.
I guess, but like, if you got a Switch, play something else.
Play Mario games. Yeah. You own a Nintendo Switch.
You play Breath of the Wild.
Right.
Why are you playing Lego? Never mind. Just play what you want. Don't talk to me and play what you want.
Coming out holiday this year. Stray is going to be on the Switch. This is the one with the cat in the future. Mm-hmm. Let's see. The Shire Lord of the Rings game. I think this game was like
never gonna get me to fucking play that game.
I feel really bad because I'm pretty sure that the company that made this is gonna get shut down in a year and a half.
Yeah.
I think this game looks like trash. I think it just looks like, I think the art style looks bad. Yeah. And that they're just like, yeah, grow crops and cook a meal. And then sometimes you can trade to grow crops to make a better meal. And I'm like, I don't even get to eat the food. It's a virtual meal.
What is the point?
At least in Animal Crossing, you do weird shit like watch people get married or hang out with KK Slider or something. Like here, it's like.
Seriously, though.
Do you want to make a bunch of fake dishes for a bunch of hobbits? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I want to go. You guys call me when there's a go drink at the bar with Strider game, and then I can drink my beer and then play the drink in the bar with Strider game.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
The Hobbits? You're going to follow the most boring race of people in the Lord of the Rings world?
You remember what happened when
the Hobbits?
those fucking Iowa farmers finally came home, and then they were just like, I'm so glad to be home where it's boring and shit.
So it's like, wow, not the adventuring dudes or like the warrior guys, or the like magical guys.
Dig mines.
The fucking farmers.
Yep.
They dance a jig in happy like merriment during celebrate, like neat, I guess, but like
not my bag. This is a really big deal. This is a big deal. They're putting out the Miles Edgeworth games in a new collection. So they've been putting out the Phoenix Wright games as they put out the first 3. They put out the there was a Back in Time one where you play as his ancestor along with Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, right, yeah.
Those 2 as a collection. They just last year, I believe, put out 4, 5, and 6 as a collection, and the only thing that was left.
How many were there?
6. Well, 8 with the throwback ones, and then there were 2 of these. So these are spin-off games where you play as Miles Edgeworth, who's like the prosecutor in the Ace Attorney games, but it's a different kind of game where you're like, it's not the same style of game. You're like, there's still dialogue and stuff, but you're like walking around in the world. It's kind of like a little adventure game.
Oh.
And you're trying to prosecute people. The other big thing here, the second one of these games was never released in the United States.
Oh.
So you had the first one, and then the second one never came out. They're redoing all of the art because it was like a 3DS game.
Yeah.
There's the whole 9 yards like they've done before. There's like galleries and soundtrack mode and all that stuff. But this is great. This means that eventually there will almost certainly be a master pack of everything, every Ace Attorney and spin-off game. And with Ghost Trick, I'm pretty sure that this is everything that guy has ever made.
Yeah.
Because the same guy that made those made Ghost Trick, and they really re-released that last year. And it's like, this is it. This is everything.
Wow.
So
total collection.
Yep. Which is great. I've always wanted to play these games, but I was not as big into the handheld games, the 3DS stuff. So I'd love to try it out because I like the writing and I like Ace Attorney and I like Miles Edgeworth.
Yeah.
And that's coming out September 6th.
Nice.
So big news.
Big.
After that, we got oh god, I don't remember what the name is. The 100 line Last Defense Academy. I'm sure this is going to be really big for some people. It's about some high school students in Japan. There's a big apocalypse. There's a bunch of monsters. They are rescued by a school mascot that takes them into a school, and they have to spend 100 days defending the school from an onslaught of weird, colorful monsters. The big thing here is that this is done by the team that the guy that did Danganronpa.
That's why it kind of looks familiar.
Yes. In fact, I tried as hard as I could to try to figure out whether, because you're going to be in this place and then you've got a whole cast of different characters like you do in all those games. And then it's got a kind of a tactics light, like attack thing where you've got these waves and then you're doing kind of a grid-based combat with all your different people. There's obviously going to be a lot of social stuff and then some secrets and mysteries.
Is it kind of borderline spooky scary?
They're always very weird.
Yeah,
they're always
it's
very
got like
strange.
a hint of it.
Yeah,
when I'm like what I'm seeing.
It's always kind of that anime style of like disturbing of, you know, like in Danganronpa. You started out in the high school and then the bear came out and he was like, oh, nobody gets to leave. I've locked all the doors. And if you try to leave, I'll murder you.
Yeah.
And then once a semester, you guys are going to have a court where you decide who the traitor is and execute one of your classmates. And you may be right or you may be wrong. And it was like, no, there's definitely some dark ass shit going on.
Yeah.
So even the mascot is like an egg with a hat, but he's got this
see
brain.
His brain inside. Yeah.
So very weird. I'm sure that this is going to be big for Danganronpa folks. Yep.
I mean, it doesn't look bad, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't play it, but I wouldn't play Danganronpa if Jeff wouldn't force it upon me.
I really do hope this goes well, though, because I was trying to look up whether any of the characters in here were from Danganronpa, and I learned that like that guy that made this game, this was supposed to, so it's being published by Aniplex. It's supposed to be published by, I believe, Katakawa, and they pulled out halfway through development, and he just started borrowing money. So he has leveraged his like finances to finish this game. That's why.
Hopefully it's successful.
This thing up here, it's like Tokyo, but with an extra O, so it's 2 Kyo games. That's like his specific game, so this will be their first indie published game under Aniplex for like the admin stuff at the top. So hope it does well. Yeah. I wish you the very best in early 2025. Let's see. Romancing Saga 2 is getting a remaster. This is just, it's one of those JRPGs that hasn't really been in places before. Yeah. It looks fine. Like it looks like a 3D. I don't have any like history with this franchise, so I couldn't say what the deal is. And then last, I don't know who expected this, or maybe they didn't, but it's been, I believe, 8 years since they originally announced Metroid Prime 4, and we finally fucking saw Metroid Prime 4. Like, we haven't seen anything for a long time.
Did her ship always look like her helmet?
Yes.
That's so funny.
It has since the Super Nintendo days.
Never realized.
Yep. It's very obvious in Prime because when it comes down, it's got the windshield looks exactly like the visor. Yeah. So yeah, we saw a little bit of action. It looks an awful lot like Metroid Prime. There's a lot of like chaotic explosions and stuff happening. Yeah. You remember the question I had before about do you think that this is the Switch 2? Michael asked me this where people online were speculating. I do think that this is the Switch 2. Because it says it's coming in 2025, and I get the feeling that this is captured. Gonna be like
launched with the game.
That it's going to
console.
The reason it doesn't have a specific release date is because it's going to be the launch day title for the Switch 2. Yeah. Which that's great because that means that Nintendo is like they wouldn't let a mediocre, even a 7 out of 10. They're putting their best foot forward for the launch of this thing. I also just don't. It looks kind of like the remaster of Prime did, but I don't know. There's just something about the lighting in here and the texture sharpness that makes me think like this can't be the Switch.
Because we've kind of been judging everything on looks this go around with the Direct. It's kind of noticeable that it's better. Yeah. Like everything. I don't know if it's just because a lot of it was like clearly not meant for the Switch or clearly just like, made to fit the Switch from like a phone game and stuff like that. But like this looks really good.
Well, you know what I notice is that it doesn't do the thing that you see with a lot of Switch games where it's using like clever art styling to cover up the kind of like these space pirates, when they jump down from the ceiling, like they're very detailed and they've got a like lighting and smoke on them. It's mostly the particle effects that really push me in that direction. Yeah. So I don't know. By the one, Michael asked me about it. I was talking with him about this and he was like, some people are saying that this is a Switch 2. And I'm like, on the one hand, Nintendo they do like to be like, they put video in here of games that I think look like absolute garbage because they don't want to be accused of they don't show PS5 graphics and then you buy the Switch. They don't want to bait and switch like that. So I'm thinking that very well might be Switch 2. I don't know though. But it's very exciting. I mean, you consider that between Metroid Dread a couple years ago, Metroid Prime Remake last year, and then this, like, there's been us Metroid fans have been eating good, after years and years of drought. So, yeah. And that was it. That was Nintendo Direct.
Nice.
So, Metroid Prime Beyond is what it's called. Yeah, lots of good stuff in there. If that's the lineup for the rest of 2024 and early 2025,
not bad.
That's pretty good.
I'm just gonna be playing Legend of Zelda.
There's a lot of there's a lot of Looney Tunes and Fairy Tale and what was that weird farm game where you're farming the dogs? There's a lot of trash in there, but like there's some good stuff too. I'm glad I dived into that dumpster.
That's what it's like being a Nintendo fan. There's some good in there.
The thing is, I feel like every Nintendo fan is like, I can't wait to see the things from Nintendo and like maybe 3 other companies that know how to do Switch stuff like very well. So, yeah. Okay, Amanda. Yeah. We now have about 25 minutes to get through all these tabs.
Okay.
We're going to go pretty quick, though.
Tabs.
It's a lot of tabs. We're going to go pretty quick. A lot of these are well, some of this is just bad news. So
that's some badass news.
Let's start by saying that after they announced that Marvel vs. Capcom package, it was announced that it was coming to the Nintendo Switch, the PC, and the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
No Xbox?
No Xbox.
What did Xbox do to upset everybody?
So I read a little bit about this, and there are a bunch of Capcom games that are all made with a similar engine. And it's called MT Framework. And there is a rumor going around because there have been a lot of Capcom games that have been skipping the Xbox. That one, Capcom doesn't feel like that there was a technological, like you had to get MT Framework. They got it working on the PlayStation 4. They got it working on the Xbox. But then at a certain point, they stopped updating it on the Xbox. And so the games that were built in the MT engine no longer work on Xbox, and the only way to get them to work on the Xbox would be to do a lot of work that they weren't selling on the Xbox, so they just didn't do that software work.
Yeah.
Well, now it's like 3 generations since then, and it still hasn't been done,
so
and it would be a huge,
not worth the effort kind of thing.
It'd be a huge thing to get it on there. Unfortunately, to like fighting game fans, it's like this is another strike against Microsoft of like, hey, why is my friend with a PlayStation able to play this, 8-year-old X-Men arcade game and I can't? I spent $500 on your console.
Yeah.
Why can't I play, X-Men versus Capcom versus, Street Fighter 12 or whatever it is?
Yeah.
And there was a person online that had a kind of a little layout here. Great Ace Attorney, that was MT Framework. Monster Hunter Stories, Monster Hunter Stories 2, that was MT Framework. And the Marvel vs. Capcom collection is probably MT Framework. And Mega Man Battle Network collection, unknown, probably that. None of those games have come to the Xbox.
Interesting.
So it could also be that it's just like Nintendo signed a deal with Capcom but then it's weird because newer Capcom games like Resident Evil comes out on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter's coming out on the Xbox. Like plenty of newer Capcom games are out there, but then it's just like these old games can be set up to natively run in this engine, and because they haven't done the work, they just don't, which has made people mad. And I think they should be mad.
Yeah, I think they have every right to be mad about that.
This is one of those things where I'm like, I'm with you, angry gamers on Twitter. Yeah, man.
Leaves a bad taste in my mouth to say that, but
go.
I agree with the angry gamers.
Go harass them. Go harass them into a corner and see if you can get them to do it. Now they're Japanese, so they don't give a shit. They don't care if you're mad on Twitter.
Yeah,
but
gotta go for it. It's worth a shot.
It's still just like strange and weird and gross. So
strange, weird, and gross.
Let's see. There's some more controversy over at Microsoft. They did a big update for Starfield last week where they put out the creator kit for Starfield. And they also did a free update where they added in a bounty hunter quest, and it's like a quest line. It's like kind of a setup where you join a bounty hunter guild, and then it's like, oh, here's the opportunity to add more content because you can be like, ooh, now there's new bounties on this planet. Now, do an update. So you can do the first quest where you do that. The second quest in the bounty hunter chain is on the Creator Club, and it costs $7 for one quest that doesn't have like a huge amount of reward to it. And people are like,
that's bad, and you should feel bad.
Yeah, that's gross. That's not enough money for that. In fact, a lot of people have talked about how if you buy the like enhanced edition of Starfield, which is like an extra like $15 or something, you get like a skin pack, digital art book, soundtrack, and 1,000 credits, which is like 700 for that quest.
Yeah.
And so you get like a bunch of stuff as opposed to just like one extra quest. This was enough of a thing that Todd came out and basically said like, we're gonna look at how we do this going forward and yada yada yada. I just have the feeling that because Bethesda's been trying to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
They have this whole thing. It goes back to a question of if you make a mod for a video game and it's good enough, do you deserve to be paid for that mod? Bethesda seems to think yes, because so many of their games are so heavily modded. They set up a thing with their creation club where it's like you get certified as a basically developer, and if you made something that they evaluated was good enough, then you could put it on their store for actual money, and then they would split. They would take a cut and give you the rest of it.
Yeah.
I understand the arguments. I personally come down more on the side of like, I don't think you should get paid for making missions for a video game.
Yeah.
I believe that this should be, and I realize that this can be abused and it can sound gross, but I think that it's like, if you love Skyrim and you want to make a side quest for Skyrim, you should do it for the love. If you want to get paid for your work, you should make a game.
Yeah.
You should. I mean, I know that that's easier said than done, but I am currently more into the idea that people make mods, and then if they're very good, that's also like an interview, right? Mm-hmm. Last week, there was a creator that made a Bloodborne kart racing game. It was like a joke.
Yeah.
First, they made Bloodborne PS1, and then they made, here's Bloodborne Kart. It was like a PS1 style kart racer with all the people from Bloodborne.
Nice.
Sony said you can't use Bloodborne, and they were ready for that. So they swapped it all out and filed off the serial numbers and changed it just enough so that it couldn't get sued.
Yeah.
And they called it Nightmare Kart, and they put it out for free. And it's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's so good. And it's like, okay, this is what a person does. And then they get hired by Bethesda to become the quest writer for the next game. Right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it just gives, the upside is that the people that make mods get paid. The downside is that you're going to be squeezing that market by making, everybody's going to want to get paid.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be every single mod that's out there is $5. And then nobody's going to buy any of the mods. And then that whole thing will crash. And then you'll just go back to people making them for free. So I don't know.
It's a cycle.
Do you have any other thoughts on that?
I don't. It's kind of, I think, difficult because, you know, if you're putting that much effort, you should make money, but sometimes people are charging for not a lot, and so just I don't know.
Let's see. We're gonna start skipping stuff because we're now. I didn't go fast enough. Speaking of industries falling apart. Oh God, I really want to spend a little time on this. Okay, there's a.
This is you. Don't you blame me.
I know. There's a game called Life by You. And this was being made by a company called, well, it says Paradox, but it's not Paradox. It's, it was called Paradox Tectonic. Okay. This is a game that was The Sims. It was The Sims, and it was being made by Paradox. It was like a Sims ripoff. I don't know if you know this, but people are like, most Sims fans have a really contentious relationship with The Sims, where they don't like the lack of customization and the fact that it costs so much money to buy all the packs.
Yeah.
They were trying to do a thing where they were trying to make something that appealed to those people. It had been in development for a little while. It got delayed and then delayed again. Mm-hmm. And then this last week, it got canceled. Yeah. They basically came out and canceled it. And when they canceled it, they said... they put out a statement that essentially said we were focusing a lot on like these very small milestones of getting certain types of things to work.
Yeah.
But after a while, we zoomed out and evaluated the whole product and saw that it wasn't in a great state.
Yeah.
And that we have decided that we don't want to keep developing it. And we wish the team all the best, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. So that happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we live in a world with the internet. Because that was a nice corporate line that I just said. But the people...
They lied to us?
The people that said it, what apparently... they were ready to launch this game on Steam in early July. Like, you might notice that it is July.
It's June.
Or June, in early June.
Like,
this is June?
Yeah.
The bigwigs came down and said, no, don't do that. They're ready to launch an early access on Steam to start like bringing in money so that they could keep working on the game. The higher ups came in and said, no, don't do that. Don't do anything until we tell you to. And then let that entire studio stew in that with no communications for almost a month.
Wow.
And then came in and they were just like, They didn't even come in. This is one of those things where they found out that the studio had been dissolved when the press found out, when they issued their press release.
Wow, they can go fuck themselves.
They didn't even have like the sense to come in and like tell them to their faces.
Yeah.
They found out when the news broke on like, you know, Twitter with the press releases and shit like that. So I have a feeling that this is horse shit. They just wanted to cut costs, and that anything they said about the game not being in a state that it could work
is bullshit.
Is a lie.
Yeah.
Because the studio, the people, the guy that wrote this whole, like screed on LinkedIn about it, and basically is like, you know, we were all happy with where the game was. We were hitting milestones. Like they were hitting successful completion dates, which is why the main company had to come up with this bullshit of like, we had to zoom out and reevaluate and see what state the game was in.
Yeah, they zoomed so far out that all they saw was the company and the numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
This game could have gone into early access, and given the fact that like Sims competitors are not a dime a dozen, like it probably would have had an audience that would have allowed them to keep going.
Well, and also the Sims fans, it's not like a monolith for them. Like they don't just do Sims; they do anything that is Sims like.
Yep.
So it's not splitting your audience or anything. You're literally just they would try it at least.
Yes.
So and then they would be very vocal about what they wanted, and then you take that and they would, you know, if they're smart.
They also said that they tried desperately to find somebody to buy them in like 2 weeks because they were like,
with no time.
This is and it's such a tragedy because it's like this game was not broken. It was not buggy. It was not behind. It wasn't a horrible thing. It was hitting its milestones. It did what they said it was. It was ready to put on Steam.
Yeah.
And then they just said no and then shut it down and delete the whole thing and everybody's fired and go home. And it's like, what the why not just cut the IP loose?
Yeah.
It's not like they were making, you know, The Sims, right?
Yeah.
It's an original title. Just cut them loose and be like, take your IP. You guys are on your own. Fare thee well.
Yeah.
You know, we're just not going to publish this anymore.
It would be like a great way of giving them a chance, right?
Yeah. And then they could go out and they could either launch onto Steam and see if they could do it.
Yeah, develop enough money to
maybe launch
keep
a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
You know, something as opposed to just, and then it was all gone, the end.
Yeah.
So
I love those kinds of games too. I just can't play them because I'll get lost forever in them. I haven't played a Sims game specifically because I'll just like, and then it'll be 8 a.m. and I didn't go to sleep at all the night before, and I'm just like, I just got another goal just popped up.
They announced the Civilization 7, and I'm like, I don't play Civilization, not because I don't like Civilization, because the one time I got into Civilization, I was like, I've been awake for 28 hours. And I really don't want to go to sleep. I want to see if I can get Gandhi to fuck off and leave me alone.
Yep. I know the exact feeling.
So what a shame.
Yeah, that sucks.
Unfortunately, that's not the only bad news we have. The Alone in the Dark, the studio that made the Alone in the Dark remake Pieces has been closed down by Embracer. Embracer Group. They bought them. Alone in the Dark remake did not sell very well. Amanda,
you played it, right?
I did. It was very good. It scored well.
Yeah.
It was great, and it scored relatively well. It was a fine game.
I feel like it was a stagnant press stuff. Like it just didn't. Like they kept it just took too long. I don't know. They could have tried to make it more exciting for a short burst of time.
Yeah.
It felt like we'd known about it for a long time, and what we were seeing. Sometimes they get really into their own butts about like showing the development of something, and sometimes it's a little better to just be like, and here it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
March.
Yeah. So I think that I just wanted to put this in context. They put this out one day before they put out Horizon Forbidden West on the PC, 2 days before Princess Peach Showtime and Dragon's Dogma 2, and also Rise of Ronin. in March of last year. It was second half of March. Unicorn Overlord came out that month. WWE 2K24 came out that month. New Contra came out that month. Guilt, etc., etc. Hi-Fi Rush on the PS5. There was no way this game was going to sell in 2024 in a way that people wanted. There was too much heat the entire year. I know those games that I listed off weren't exactly like, those weren't Game of the Year contenders, right?
Yeah.
But they were like, there was just, you needed a time where you could get this out there and people be like, I'm not playing anything else.
Yeah.
I'll give Alone in the Dark a try. And they just didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, if I was going to say anything, I'd say they put it out 2 days before Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 2 sucked up all the oxygen in the room for like 4 weeks after that.
Yeah.
So...
Alone in the Dark definitely seemed like the type that if it was good, it would be a sleeper hit. And you got to set it out during a weekend when everyone else just didn't have anything going on.
It's like I've talked to you and I've talked to a few other people. It's like the evaluation on the way that Hollywood movies work, where it's like they put them out and they don't make $1 bajillion in 2 weeks. And there's like fail.
Every fucking business right now is only plays for the opening weekend and doesn't play for the long haul, and it fucks them and it fucks us because of it.
It also, this also is Pieces is a studio that's been around for a long time. They made a lot of games. They made Magica 2. They've never been a big old game company. They made like some Titan Quest DLCs, Magica 2. They made some other games. The thing is that I have absolutely no problem at this point calling Embracer cultural vandal. Because they bought small studios that put out small games, and then when they didn't sell a gajillion copies, they've shut them down for tax purposes. Fuck them. Fuck their CEO. There's one guy at Saber who just shut down that other studio, who really wants to like defend Lars Winjafor or whatever his name is. Fuck that guy. Fuck that place. This is like a prime example. I want everybody to remember moving forward. I'm in my 40s, but you people that are in your like 20s and 30s, you remember this when the video game industry swings back up. Of like, if you ever get into this shit and you've got the ability to, do not sell out to a large publisher.
Don't fucking sell out. I don't know why I have to have this conversation with people, but like, I'm sure they'll just keep us forever and ever. Is not a fucking thing. You're being run by people who only see the number and then go, well, actually, it'd make more money if you died.
And then last, this is also kind of this is a shame. Galvanic Games shut down. They're the ones that made Wizard with a Gun. And this one, again, it's like, Wizard with a Gun, I believe, came out last year. And again, I just don't think it had or did it come out last year? Or was it, 2023?
Years ago on by fast.
Yeah, but it was in October of 2023.
Yeah.
And October is when the big AAA shit starts happening. And I guess they got through this year and a year, on top, basically. They got from 2023, 2024.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. No. That was last year. Yes.
Yes. We are
October of last year.
Did you jump ahead to 2025, Jeff?
I did. I was trying to get that Metroid Prime 4. October 2023 video game releases were... Alan Wake is in there. Detective Pikachu, Forza, Arkham, Lords of the Fallen, Sonic Superstars, Wizard with a Gun, Hellboy. Yeah. Spider-Man was like 7 days after they released. They put out a statement basically saying like, it just didn't sell well enough. Like, we don't have the money to keep running the place. And they say, Devolver published it. They're like, we love everybody Devolver. And then we're fine. It just didn't sell. And they put out a bunch of updates trying to kind of get people back in, and it just never really worked.
It's so hard. You have to be so bare bones and make so much money, and it fucking sucks.
Let's see how many things we can do in 5 minutes. Miyazaki, Hidetaka Miyazaki from Elden Ring. This is supposed to be the turnaround to good news. Basically came out and said, here's a direct quote. When asked about layoffs He said, speaking to myself in this company, I want to say that is not something I would wish on the staff at FromSoftware in a million years. He's basically compared himself to back when Iwata, when Nintendo had a slump and he just took pay cuts.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to lose people. I don't want to lay people off. People that are afraid of getting laid off are not concentrating on making good games, and I want people to make good games.
Yeah.
And he also said that he believes that the people at Katakawa, who owns the company, share his opinion on that you want to keep your workforce together and not have this like short term, we're going to wreck everything up for financial gain, and then it's going to spend 3 years trying to put the pieces back together again from one short-sighted week.
Yeah.
He had a big interview last week because there are a couple of other things. There's a mod for Elden Ring that makes what they call seamless co-op. So Elden Ring's co-op is mainly focused on bosses.
Yeah.
You put down the thing, people come in, they do the boss, and then they're done. Miyazaki said it was created like that for small intervals.
Yeah.
But then people have made mods that let you basically like play the big open world with your friends. And Miyazaki came out and basically said, no, that's great. We're not trying to, we want people to be able to play the game. It's something we'll consider for future games.
Yeah.
I designed it this way on purpose, but like we didn't realize how strong people's desire would be to play co-op. So we'll look into it.
I really like when people mod things or play a game like quote unquote incorrectly, but it like is successful.
Yes.
Like not to keep bringing it back to Breath of the Wild, but my favorite thing is the if it works, it works thing that they have with it, where it's just like, do you want to just, or I guess it's not Breath of the Wild,
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
That, they're like, do you want to just build a bridge to the end of the game? I guess do that.
If you want, sure.
If it works, it works. You're not exactly playing the game right, but you're not playing it incorrectly either.
Yep. Let's see. One of the other things that came out of this was Miyazaki has talked about how he's been trying to basically make his own perfect RPG for years and years.
Yeah.
And how Elden Ring is like close, but not quite there yet.
God damn. What more do you need, man?
I think this is so exciting because what he talks about is like how, because he's the lead, he still knows what will happen in the game when he plays it, and how what he really wants is the surprise that you get from playing the game when you don't know what's going to happen. So in my mind, it's like Dark Souls RPG, Bloodborne was the action, Bloodborne Sekiro action. They've rolled that in. Then they made the jump to Elden Ring to make the open world where stuff is put together. What if FromSoft can make something that's like Elden Ring, but procedurally generated in a way where you never know what's going to happen next? And I'm like,
that sounds horrifying.
Like maybe start with like the Dark Souls, like individual levels, like Diablo style, but like with something that's able, because they did procedural generation for Bloodborne dungeons. You could make your own Bloodborne dungeons, and it's like, oh, if you guys could just get it to the point where those dungeons felt like they were bespoke, then like, ooh, and we're far enough away that those tools are getting better and better. So, and then last but not least, they asked him about Bloodborne on the PC. He said, I can't say that I want that. I will tell you that a lot of people at the audience at the office, like he literally had people with him from, and he was like, I could tell you that these guys are really into that idea, and that I'm definitely and completely not opposed to it.
Yeah.
The thing is that Sony owns the rights to Bloodborne. Sony has to give the okay for there to be a remake. It seems like it's any day now, because Sony is now putting their PlayStation games on the PC that have never been anywhere else before. And Demon's Souls has a remake. Pretty sure that within the next 3 years, we're going to see Bloodborne on the PC. Valve's getting sued for £656 million in the UK.
Oh, what'd they do?
This is some bullshit. This is the same company. They sued Sony.
Do they do like frivolous lawsuits kind of thing? Or?
They do. Okay. I shouldn't say bullshit. I could say as an American, it seems like bullshit to me, but that could just be because
it's
I'm
for
an American.
Pounds and you don't respect it.
Yes, correct.
Is it because of the Queen and you
because
don't?
Because that's weight, not money. No, this is a lawsuit that was brought by a person and conducted by a law firm that did another one where it's basically like Steam is anti-competitive because they have like agreements that you have to like Steam has an agreement to the people that sell on there that says you can't sell for a different amount of money on other platforms than you sell for on Steam. And so the rationale here is like, well, by signing that agreement, it means that like a developer can't like, you know, make a good deal somewhere else because they also always have to have, there can't be competition because Steam is making sure that the price never is different than it would be other places. Also, by taking 30%, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
They're artificially inflating the prices of games, blah, blah, blah. The UK, as they found out in the Activision merger, is a lot more sensitive to this kind of stuff than the US is. They have like a specific competition like bureau that deals with this stuff. There's a similar thing with PlayStation with the same thing. Why can't I buy PlayStation games on something other than the PlayStation Store on my Sony PlayStation? And that's anti-competitive, that I must use Sony's store on my PlayStation to buy PlayStation games on my PlayStation. Now, as an American, I roll my eyes and go just like, you guys don't have a lot of experience with large corporations, do you?
Yeah.
But I get it.
I mean, I respect fighting large corporations, but I don't know.
I do feel, though, like I was, you know, I wonder how big of a market the UK is. Like with PlayStation, they'll probably fight it out in court, but I can say Gabe Newell just being like, you know what? Just turn it off. Just fuck you guys. Like it's all over. All the agreements that you hit when you signed for Steam means we can take your games away whenever the fuck we want to. Turn off the servers in the UK. You guys tell us when you want to turn them back on when you guys have elected new judges or whatever. Like,
so would that mean that if we make the RageSelect video game and we decide we want it to be $10, and we put it on Steam and it's $10 on Steam, and we put it on, you know, GOG, whatever, and it's $10, can we have one go on sale and it's $4? But it's still $10 on Steam?
I believe that I believe that they can have specific sales. Yeah. But we can't just say...
Can we have an indefinite sale?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think you can have an indefinite sale, But I also think that it's like, you can't... Well, the big thing here is you can't say... if it's $5 on GOG and it's $10 on Steam. Yeah. Right. Because Steam is like, no, we don't want to do that. Like, if you want to get $5 for the game, you get $5 of the game everywhere, and we'll take, you know, the amount. Now, if GOG has a summer sale and everything's 20% off or 50% off, and your $10 game is $5, that's fine. But it's got to be like from here to here. Yeah. It's not permanent. You can't. I don't think any of those digital storefronts will let you do basically like
indefinite sales.
What was that like? What was the store? It's like Ross or something, or Kohl's, where everything is always on sale. Yeah, where it's like everything is on sale all the time.
I don't know if this is just where we are. Those furniture stores that are always closing but never close. Yes, and they're like our closing sale. So you've been here for 12 years and you've had this sale every weekend.
Yep. Well, you know what? We are pretty much done. We got 4 other stories, but because we don't have that many trailers, I think we're just going to roll them in the next part. Okay. So, because they're going to go pretty fast. A lot of them are about this game on Steam where you click a banana. So we'll...
Whoa, you're going to keep people in suspense about that?
Yeah, you guys got to stick around. I'm doing the cliffhangers over here. Ooh, come back at 10 to find out what in your Steam library will kill you. More news after these messages. And we're going to go through the last of these stories real quick. The biggest game on Steam right now is a game where you click on a picture of a banana.
Hell yeah. What else do you do?
That's all you do. Is
simple and easy.
Click on a picture. It's like a clicker game, but there is no auto clicking. It's just you clicking on a banana. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that if you have the game open and you continually are interacting with it, every so often there are these like Steam drops of like these pictures of a banana that you can sell on the Steam marketplace to other people. They can put them on like their profile page. So the whole thing is apparently blowing up. Some people think it's a big scam. I think it's a big scam because there's like there's like random like hot, extremely rare bananas that you can get.
Yeah.
And that, people are selling these bananas to each other for like a quarter a piece, but that Steam takes like 1% of every one of those transactions, and then the developers get those transaction fees. They get a chunk of the fees as well. Anyway, it's just sometimes good to remind people that Steam really is still the fucking Wild West.
Yeah.
Like, there is no rules on Steam. Maybe they should be fined. Maybe the UK should.
Maybe they deserve it. I've had some time to think about it. And after the banana thing, I think maybe they deserve it.
It's just a picture of a banana. It's also free.
Can the RageSelect fucking game just be a picture of Puppet Jeff that you have to click on, and every once in a while you get, ow, 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 ow. That's it.
I could probably do that in afternoon at Unity.
Comment down below. Would you play the RageSelect clicking game?
Let's see. Speaking of dumb shit, Nintendo is being real jerk-offs. They've apparently started going after people that are doing like sheet music transcriptions of Nintendo game songs.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Like, that's our intellectual property. You're not allowed to put that on the internet.
You listened too hard and you wrote it down.
Well, they've already gone after a lot of like soundtrack YouTube channels, but this is like places that are giving you piano transcription on how to play Legend of Zelda themes.
Yeah.
Because they're like, no, you're not allowed to do that. And it's like, well, do you sell the Yoshi's Crafted World soundtrack tablature for guitar?
Yeah.
They're like, no.
Yeah.
Like, but you're not allowed to. So this is one of those times also where I would like to remind everybody that like Nintendo has no chill, and they will sue your ass. Like they will be
dicks.
Yeah.
And sometimes you love them, sometimes you hate them.
They are a very conservative company, and they don't understand a lot of the internet. They don't really get the internet as much as, it took them like
care to
10 years to stop taking 20% of every video that I put up that was their things.
They're like, 20% of nothing. What's the point?
Took 20% of my fucking dick peas video. It's one of the most popular videos we ever made on this website.
We want our dick piece money back, Nintendo.
That's right. I want a check. I will accept a check for my dick peas money.
The notes on the check to say.
Put out the tablature for my dick peas. Super Mario Brothers movie has a firm 2026 release date. April 3rd, 2026. Super Mario Brothers movie 2 will be in theaters.
Oh, the sequel.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, didn't that shit already come out? I didn't watch it, but
yeah.
Okay.
But it's just.
Do you think they're going to get Jack Black to make another song that everyone won't shut the fuck up about that only has like 2 lines?
Yeah, I don't know, because that first one, nobody would shut the fuck up about it. And then when I finally saw it, and I was like, I don't even like this. This is. I think it was very funny.
I love Jack Black. I think Jack Black was the only reason I wanted to watch this movie. But the way that everyone pounded that fucking song into everything made me never want to watch that movie ever.
I can see it. Hey, you know that weird like thing you can buy that lets you remote play a PlayStation? I don't know if you're familiar with this thing, the PlayStation Portal. It's basically like a tablet that lets you stream games from your console.
I think we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Possibly on a podcast, possibly not.
Very weird, because everybody looked at this and we're just like, it was like garbage.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
Constantly sold out. Like, very popular.
Yeah.
It's only $200, which is not a bad, And there are a lot of people who are like, well, who needs a Steam Deck? I can just play this on my home Wi-Fi from my PS5. And yeah, it's not the best, but it's a little screen. It's not like,
I mean,
a 40-inch TV.
As somebody who has an easier time handheld gaming than I do like console gaming on a television, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But that looks ergonomically painful to me.
Well, it's just
like my wrists would die.
It's just a PS5 controller with a screen
but with
between.
but when you separate it out far enough, the I don't know, the heaviness of it, and also the like weird spacing for your fingers underneath. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
it's apparently pretty light because it's not a Switch. It literally has like just enough processing power to stream video back and forth, so it doesn't have like a big GPU or anything in it. Like, anyway, they put out a firmware update for it that apparently did some fun stuff. I thought I would say, just in case people didn't know. It's got, let's see, the first thing it has is support where if you're on a public Wi-Fi network and it has like a sign-in webpage that comes up. It didn't used to have that, but now you can sign in via the webpage. The second thing is it now has a little indicator that shows if you're using the touchpad that you're actually touching it and it lights up in the little corner.
Yeah.
And then the third thing, which I think something that a lot of people, me included, really like is before it just had a battery meter. Now the battery meter has the percentage to the right of it.
Nice. Yeah.
So good.
That's
do that.
a necessary update.
The Street Fighter movie has lost its directors.
Son of a bitch. Who were the original directors?
So this is the most interesting
Because
part.
I feel like I remember.
It was Danny and Michael Philippou, the guys that made Talk to Me, and they were like YouTubers.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
And everybody was really like, I'm interested to see what they would do with a Street Fighter movie.
Yep.
And now people are like, I'm no longer interested to see what they do with the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
They haven't announced replacements yet. Apparently there was a conflict because I think that those, like what happens with a lot of horror directors, they made a movie, it made a shitload of money, and they were just like, greenlight a sequel. Hey, do you guys have time to do another like independent movie in between those two?
Yeah.
Like everybody wants them because they're the hot thing, because you could put from the director of Talk to Me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a scheduling thing, but I'm sad because I would have really been interested to see what they did with a Street Fighter movie.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Okay, trailer time.
Huzzah.
We got Overwatch Season 11 is coming out. This one's interesting. It's Sentai. It's
Yeah,
like
I was
Power
gonna
Rangers.
say, yeah.
Or like Kamen Rider kind of looking stuff. It's
Yeah.
called Super Mega Ultra Watch.
The hamster, I forgot his name. Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking Ball, yes.
He looks like a samurai pizza cat.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah. So a lot of the people have like kind of Power Ranger-esque costumes. Then the other side has a bunch of like almost actionable, like this Calamity Rita Repulsa skin.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of dope.
That's like a Kamen Rider. You got some like kind of kaiju looking skins.
Yeah. Well, Null Sentai, the villains always look better than the heroes.
Yeah.
So.
It's pretty fun. And then also got a bunch of other stuff that's coming in the latest season, like the Aztec skin for Sombra, and like brought the Pink Mercy breast cancer skin back. And then they've got some new updates to maps and stuff. The other thing that they've got is they're also bringing back the Lucio
stuff.
ball and the lifeguards and the swimsuits. And then they teased at the very end. They had it put up the Overwatch logo, and then it transformed into an Autobot logo with the noise.
Yeah.
I gotta say, this is probably the best of the crossovers they've done because this isn't something specific.
Yeah.
It's more of a vibe. Like I did not like it when they were like, "It's One Punch Man," and I'm like, no, or it's Cowboy Bebop, and it's like I like this because it's more generic.
Yeah.
Yes, that looks like Rita Repulsa, but it's not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we work on vibes here.
yeah. So with that in mind, Amanda, here's the officially licensed Power Ranger cosmetic pack for Ark Survival.
What the fuck's going on, guys?
Ascended. Ark is that game where you have like dinosaurs and stuff, and it's a survival game.
That's very funny.
This works pretty well because they've got skins for the characters that make them look like rangers, and then skins for the dinosaurs that make them into the Zords.
That's cool.
So instead of
Just
a T-Rex,
so we're clear, and I understand because it's dinosaurs, it makes sense, but I really need everyone to understand that there is more to Power Rangers than just the mighty fucking Morphin Power Rangers. Do you know how boring it is to see the same thing you've been watching since 1995 when they haven't stopped making Power Rangers? It's so weird.
No, because I didn't and do not watch Power Rangers.
Get Matt Frank on the line right now.
I did.
He would understand me.
I did think though that this was cute, where they actually put it in a game that had
dinosaurs,
a
and
Triceratops and a Mastodon and a T-Rex, so you could have all of the actual.
Are there saber-toothed tigers in it?
Yes. That's right there.
But
there
like, I mean,
yes.
They actually do have all of the.
Yeah, the end point is showing
because
the
like,
unaltered versus the altered skins.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's also like it's an
just
online.
Fun. I mean, it's fine and it's fun. I just mean that every time they do a Power Rangers thing, it's always Mighty Morphin.
I can see this being very good for them because they also it's like online PvP with your friends. You can literally buy this pack and everybody can have a different ranger, and you can go play Power Rangers and Arc.
Do all Red Rangers.
Or all Red Rangers. Well, think about it. They got this, and then, in 6 months they could put out the Green Ranger
and then
the White Ranger.
After that, you put out the White Ranger, and
It also, I gotta say, it looks good.
Actually, it looks great.
It looks
which
pretty
is so funny. There's like a Power Rangers game coming out that's just like a side-scrolly, punchy
beat 'em up.
game. Yeah. And like the Power Ranger fandom is really bored of that, and they're like, because whenever you get a Power Rangers game, that's what it is.
Right.
And I feel like this is what they're looking for.
Something different.
Yeah, something different that looks good, that looks fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It also looks like they put a bunch of poses in for them as well, which is kind of cool. Let's see. Speaking of like movies and television, we got the announcement that the Starship Troopers Extermination is coming to the PS5.
Neat.
This is a PC game that's like a first-person squad-based thing. It is officially licensed. It's got like a build mechanic, so you build bases and then you defend them against a bunch of the Starship Troopers bugs.
Yeah.
Michael and I had a video that got ruined because it locked up.
Oh, that sucks.
Where we played this.
Just play Helldivers?
Okay, so here's the thing. I was really shitty about this game.
Yeah.
And we were playing it, and I was really shitty when we were playing it for about 15 minutes. And then they got to the point where they just started, like, we had the base, and it was like, hold out for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they started throwing everything at us.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, shit. Like, this is different than Helldivers because they've got these just swarm after swarm, and you're trying to stay alive. Although I do, as you just pointed out, I wish them all the best going onto the PlayStation 5 because Helldivers kind of has that platform locked up.
Yep.
This probably should have been an Xbox exclusive. But what I will say is that it's not my kind of game, but when we played it, it looks fine. Mm-hmm. It plays fine. It's a first-person shooter online, and it's got building and crafting, and the bugs look fine.
Yeah.
And it was fun, and I think that if the idea of like, I want to play Starship Troopers jazzes you up, then hey, there you go.
Did it have the humor that like the movies had, or was it more book based or nothing?
It's more movies. They did.
I mean, the designs are straight from the movie, but I just the
kind of would you like to know more? Kind of
there's like a whole lot coming from the movie that isn't in this too.
This is that thing where people are taking Starship Troopers seriously.
Oh no, guys, no, it's Starship Troopers.
But they
get Denise Richards in it.
They did add a bunch of. When it started, everybody was kind of the same class, and they added an update where they added like medics and heavy gunners and stuff. They added a bunch more classes so that you could really like customize. So yeah, I mean, it's coming October 11th, and maybe I'll do a makeup video where we take a look at that.
Yeah.
So. Let's see. In other movies, we got a reveal trailer for A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead.
Yeah. YouTube really wanted me to watch this. They're like pushing really hard, and I keep going, no. But I keep getting the like, we suggest that you watch this.
Is it for the new trailer for the new movie?
The trailer for this? For this game.
This is an interesting trailer because the idea of A Quiet Place, I think, kind of lends itself well to a horror game of like, you have to be quiet. Like,
does it connect to your mic or anything? Is it actually?
I didn't see anything like that.
Because there are a lot of horror games out right now that do that, where your microphone is part of it. So
I think that would be a good idea. Especially because they kind of shoot in this trailer, they turn on the power, and then one of the monsters like fucking goes like that. There's a sign or something that has an alarm, and this thing just comes out of nowhere and fucking obliterates it.
Yeah.
And so then when they go back and look, it's like it's gone. There's a mechanic here in the trailer where the character takes a puff off of an asthma inhaler.
Yeah.
Makes me think that there's going to be a mechanic where you have asthma, and if you don't have the inhaler, or if it runs out, you start wheezing, which makes more stuff. I think you could do a lot. They show them undoing a door. I think you could do it a lot with the like using the mouse / analog stick to slowly do something, and you could never really tell if it's going to make a thing. In the trailer, when they come out, they're walking out of the door. Now, this doesn't seem like actual gameplay. This is more of like a concept.
Yeah.
There's glass on the ground.
Oh, that's what
it is. And they step on the glass, and then they look down, and then the monster comes out and fucking
murders them. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it could be an interesting take on a stealth game where you're like, there's things that make it's kind of like, you remember when we were we didn't play it, but back in the old days, that first SCP game that was popular, where there was literally like a blink button where you made blinking into like a mechanic. The idea of like, don't make any noise. And so all of the stuff we've got with like, to open the door, hold down the left mouse button and pull. But if you pull slowly, it goes slowly. But if you do quick, it does quick. The idea of using all of that tactile integration in a way where you don't know what's going to make a sound. So like, you're trying to do something and you're under maybe a time limit.
Yeah.
But you're also trying to make sure that you don't do stuff, especially if they can think of a way to like randomize like what makes noises and what doesn't, so that you don't know. Like the last time I tried this level, when I opened this door, it creaked and then the thing got me, whereas this time when I was slow, and the entire time I was waiting for it to creak, and I was like freaking myself out, and it never did. It could be good.
Or it could take 45 minutes to get from one side of a hallway to another.
Or it could do that as well.
The game.
2024 PS5. Apparently, I didn't see any marks for PCs or anything. So, I don't know. I think that video game interactivity... I've never watched A Quiet Place, but I might actually play A Quiet Place game because I have agency over what's happening in that game, as opposed to watching John Krasinski put his finger to his lips.
Yes. Yes.
You could also see things where, you know, they had like a sound meter of like, we saw in that trailer, I stepped on a piece of glass, the monster immediately killed me. But there could also be like, I stepped on a piece of glass, I went, oh shit, and immediately ran and got in a locker and managed to, now I'm in the locker.
And quiet while it's looking
and, you know,
for the sound
or like
or
Until Dawn, like, and then a breath mechanic, right, of like holding your breath, but you can't hold it too long because you have to exhale. But if it's too close, then it'll just kill you. You know, there's a lot you could do with that.
Heck yeah.
Speaking of games that don't have very many mechanics, Disney Speedstorm has The Journey of Emotions Season 8. This is the Inside Out 2.
Cool.
I mean, these are paid updates, right? Every one of these is a new paid update.
Yeah.
There was a controversy a little while back for this game where they used to let people use the in-game currency to buy the updates, and then they just said at a certain point they were going to stop doing that, and people were very unhappy. I think that the reason you would stop doing that is because nobody's actually giving you money for all of these incredibly expensive licensed updates.
Yeah.
And if you don't get money, you're going to get shut down by Disney because they don't give two shits.
Yeah.
So.
But also, and hear me out.
Yeah.
No.
Also, quit trying to make Inside Out a thing. It had a good message, but it wasn't my favorite Pixar movie.
I haven't watched it. My dog's named after it, and I haven't watched it.
I mean, I was talking about the first one.
Yeah.
Have you seen the first one?
No.
No. I liked the first one.
I don't need to get in touch with my emotions, all right? It's better for everybody if I keep that shit bottled down.
It's just 5 of these rage guys.
Yeah. Why are all my guys red? What's that about?
Where's the happy one? I don't have that one. Okay, well, here's a game you might like.
Cute.
This is called Blood. Hashtag Blood. Michael and I played this. The video should be out the same day the podcast comes out.
Oh, nice.
This is a like kind of top-down isometric game where you play as a young girl named...
You know, Cartoon Network cartoon? What's going on here?
Mandy?
Is it me?
I don't remember.
You just played it.
I know, but I
play so many games.
I play so many games. Let's see. Let's see if I can find
so many games.
Save your friends. Does he need?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't say.
We gotta find out for Jeff. Everybody, hold on.
Let's see. Is it?
Better be Mandy.
I don't. Oh no! It mainly reminds me of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Okay, so no, it wasn't. That was probably what I was thinking of. Yeah, it's not that. It's something else. But it's an interesting game. It's got a very, like, at first when you see screenshots of it, I don't think it conveys. I think you get an idea of what you think the art style is going to look like in the animation, and it's not that. It's like hand animated, like, and there's a shitload of animation, and it's extremely well written. It's like an isometric game where you play as this young girl who comes to a new town, and you accidentally end up like bringing vampires back.
Hell yeah.
And then you have to take your field hockey stick and go kill them, and everything is animated in this kind of Cartoon Network, like really
got like a Dexter's Lab-ish. It's got a little Powerpuff Girly.
Or I think it's like that Billy and Mandy show a little bit too.
Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
The kind of what they call Cal Arts kind of a little bit. And it's really good looking, and I can't stress this enough. You can go watch the dojo for it. Like, funny, engaging. Like,
is it my vibe? You said you thought I would like it.
I do think you would like it.
I like the art and I like the violence of it, but like the humor vibe.
Yeah, I think you would like it. I
do like cute and violent.
It is definitely that. And like, what the thing is that you go into the kitchen and there's like, where's the cookbook? And it was like, what is grimoire French for cookbook or something? There's a joke about how, like, she thinks there's like a cookbook and then you have to go get it. Like, one of the girls at school asks you for a recipe, and so you go to the shed and you get it, and it's actually like an actual grimoire. And that's where the, like, and there's also this like this fake, like, the interface
social media thing going on.
This is how you track quests.
Oh.
So, like, you get a quest and it's like a story in your, like, social media app.
Yeah.
And you can even go, like, take a selfie inside the quest line, and then the people will comment hints and stuff. And there's, like, all these upgrades.
Nice.
I can't.
Is it open world or is it super linear?
It's open world. It's this top down. You're in this like city, and you're kind of, you start off going to school, and then you're in the school, and so everything is this kind of top down, and you're just going between different places, and you're doing different things. You're talking to characters.
Nice. This is a long as shit trailer.
Yeah. And it's exceptionally well animated.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it was a little frustrating. The difficulty at the very beginning. There was a boss that was hard for me for some reason. But they show a lot of the upgrades in here too. Like, I think this is coming out the same week as like Shadow of the Erd Tree, and that people might not see it. And I wanted to point it out because I was a little like so, and then Michael and I played it. We were both just like, this fucking rules, man. So
looks fun. I'm in.
Yeah. It's also like $10.
And it's just a PlayStation game?
It's also on Steam. Let's see if I can find out. I think I'd be willing to bet. I haven't, when I do the video for stuff, I tend to is when I find out what platforms it's on. Everything. Switch, Xbox, PS4, PC.
Looks like PlayStation first.
Oh, it's out right now on the PC only.
Okay. And
then it'll be coming to those later. But on the PC, if I'm not mistaken, oh no, it's $25. It's not $10.
Wow.
So $25. And it's on Steam right now. It's coming. Actually, it might be on the PS4. It does. This trailer says available now, and this trailer came out 2 days ago. So
yeah, maybe
Metacritic hasn't updated yet. But in other games for Amanda's news, we finally got a trailer for Lollipop Chainsaw Repop.
Does everyone think I want to play this again?
You've told me it's like your favorite game a bunch of times.
Well, it's not my favorite game. Brutal Legend's my favorite game, but I thoroughly enjoyed it when it came out.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna replay it if it's just to make it pretty. And if it's adding more stuff, I'm not going to play it because my close personal friend Suda51 didn't even do anything on it.
Okay. Oh, fair enough.
John was like, here, you got to see this. And I'm like, I fucking played it. And if it's just to update it, I don't care. I'm not the person that's like, oh, it's going to be better looking. This game wasn't good looking when it first came out.
Even this trailer is not all that good looking. Like, it's okay looking.
Well, I think he was just like, this is a game you like.
Yeah.
You here, enjoy it. And it's just like, but it's like, if it's not adding anything new, I've already played it. And if it's just to make it look good, it doesn't even look that great because it wasn't an interactive game in the first place. It was fun and quirky, but I'm not going to replay it.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
But it is funny that everyone keeps like, you played this one game.
I just seem to remember you really liking it. So
yeah, I did. I think it's a great game. I think it's fun. I think people get a little up their own butts about like what is or isn't empowering to women. But I love like a lollipop empowerment and kind of thing. Like I think girly stuff is super fun.
Like cheerleaders with pigtails being girl boss.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like super into Chapel Roan right now. So like a girl in pink just being herself and not giving a fuck what other people think is like right in my vibe. But like I played this game when the loading bar was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, so, and this isn't, it isn't doing anything more. And I don't know if I think now this game is,
it holds up as well.
No, I just mean like, I don't know if it's worth replaying now when I can play other things. And if the only thing that's different is that it's for a new console and it's nicer looking or whatever.
I will say that there's a case to be made that one, Suda51 makes interesting games, but the gameplay mechanics have never been the best. And two, when this originally came out, we had a much lower. We didn't expect as much polish and smoothness to games as we generally tend to expect now. So it's possible that I used to really love Farscape. And then there was a time like 3 or 4 years ago where I was like, I'm not watching anything. I'm going to go back and watch Farscape. And watch the first episode. And I was like, I think I'm going to let my memories of Farscape stay shiny and chrome in my brain where they belong and not go back and watch this again because it might end up making it worse for me. So
maybe. I mean, I don't know. I watched Farscape for the first time like relatively recently, like 5 years ago, and I thought it was great.
I'm just saying that I think that sometimes it's better to just retain your memories of the thing.
There's things that like I want to replay. My connection to things doesn't relate to like if I enjoyed the first Resident Evil game and then they like remake it and it's modern now. I don't think it's necessary. Like, I'm not the type of player that I need it to look like it had just come out today.
Sure.
I don't need anything to look modern or good. I'm a Nintendo Switch player. But
we're not even talking about that anymore.
You know what I mean, though? So, like, it doesn't appeal to me. You're not going to appeal to me with a shiny new coat of paint. Like, it's just not anything. If it adds more stuff, then I want the original creators to be a part of it. And they weren't.
Yeah.
And so that's just the same game over again.
Well,
I would not feel crazy about going backwards and replaying it from back then.
The best argument to be made is from an archival standpoint. Of, like there's at least a version that's easily accessible to modern gamers.
I don't mind it existing. So. I just won't play it.
Yeah.
Like, not for me. You guys can play, or like a great way to like introduce new players to it. That's fine. I'm totally cool with that. But like, I don't care.
Well, you cannot play it on September 25th. It has release date now too. So
won't.
We got a 4-minute launch trailer for Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail, the new expansion.
Dang, I'm hyped.
Yeah, I know. This is weird. Okay. Let me tell you why this is kind of a weird one. Well, first off, the people that are going to play this, they're like me playing the Elden Ring DLC. They've already bought it. Like they're already playing it right now. The people that are
in
into
their
this
hearts,
game,
in their minds.
So first off, they did do a big graphical update to make the game look better, like just across the board, the character models and stuff look better.
Dang, I'm all about graphical updates.
This takes place in kind of it's kind of like, I believe, like a Central/South American themed kind of island nation. It's kind of got some Aztec kind of looking stuff in it. And there's a whole thing about like, we're going to have a tournament to decide who the next ruler of this island nation is going to be. And so there's all this Final Fantasy stuff, man. And I'm watching this trailer and it's 4 minutes long and they're going and they're introducing the characters and they're showing people doing stuff. And then suddenly we're into like the cyber Final Fantasy things where it's like weird vault full of technology and lasers and like
I don't understand.
like there's like Power Rangers and robots and stuff.
I'm gonna be honest though, I never understood Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So this just looks like more of the same to me. Where they're like, it's all fantasy smashed together.
Yeah. Everybody assures me that Final Fantasy 14 is a very good story. I am not able to judge it because when I asked when does a story get good, they said after about 80 hours, and I went, no sir, no thank you.
All you got to do is watch the first season of Parks and Rec, and then you can watch good television.
That's only 5 episodes long.
I don't give a fuck. I'm not sitting down for 5 episodes.
5 20-minute episodes.
I don't have that kind of time in this economy.
Anyway, that's out, or no, it's coming out July 2nd. So good stuff.
Very close to being out.
We got an announcement trailer for a game called Lifeless Moon. We didn't have that many trailers this week, to be honest.
Lifeless Moon.
This is really a strange.
Is he straight up just like NASA spaceman?
Yes. This is a very weird trailer that's like kind of got a NASA spaceman like in a bunch of places where NASA spacemen would not be, like buildings and roads and like.
I'm weirdly into it.
This is a very strange. There's a game called Lifeless Planet, apparently, that they made. This coming out July 9th. I went to go look up the developer for this game, and their primary thing is making like interactive digital exhibits for museums about space.
Oh.
And I get the feeling that they made a bunch of them and then they just took those assets and like made their own story.
Yeah.
And then kind of put it together.
See gameplay. This looks like a guy just walking through really cool environments.
So that's the question, is what do you actually do?
Yeah.
Is there something to do? Or is this a museum exhibit where you walk through a bunch of different places?
You know, depending on cost or price, that could be kind of fun. Like if you have a really good photo mode in there, you can do a lot of really cool shit with that. But I really like a third person game where you're a NASA astronaut because you don't get to see the back of his head.
Oh, right.
You just got like a big square with legs and arms.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
It's just so funny to me.
Looks like it's going to be $15.
Well,
I don't know. It's on sale for $11 if you pre-order it.
I think for $15, I want a little bit of gameplay.
Well,
you gotta give me something.
Who knows? You might see it on old RageSelect one day. Let's see. From there, the release date for this game called Akimbot. I am a big booster for this game because it looks almost exactly like a Ratchet & Clank game. It looks like it's 85% a Ratchet & Clank game where you play as this robot that even has these kind of Ratchet-ish ears, and then you've got a little like robot sidekick.
Yeah. I see.
And the gameplay has you like big guns, and you're going up against these other robots, and you're shooting a bunch of different stuff. And it's kind of from the third person back, like Ratchet & Clank is. And it just looks like a darn good time.
Yeah, like a mech game, but cute.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
It just looks like a darn good time. Sorry, I just got you saying that.
Like I don't
hit my brain later.
There's nothing special. It's just the robot kind of reminds me of Ratchet from Ratchet & Clank.
Yeah.
And it looks like a third-person shooter, and I like those. So, I don't know. August 29th is when that's coming out.
Nice.
Hopefully it'll be okay.
Wish list it now.
Let's see. We got the launch trailer for Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun Forges of Corruption.
We played that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is DLC for that game.
Nice.
There's like a challenge mode that's free, and then they put out this Forges of Corruption that has like a new level with enemies and guns and stuff.
Nice.
That's different. It looks pretty much just as redonkulously chaotic and destructive as when we played it.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, this one either gave me a headache or motion sickness.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. I don't remember. It might have been both.
Yeah.
But yeah. But in a fun way, Doom did that too, and we still managed to get through a sequential without me throwing up in theory.
Very true. Did you see the trailer for Doom
the medieval?
The Dark Ages or whatever?
Are we full sequential medieval Doom?
Are you kidding me?
Doomslayer.
They put out a release date for Angerfoot. Fuck Doom.
Oh, dude,
Doom
fuck,
could
you're
go
right.
to
You're
hell.
right. You know what? When you're right, Jeff. I gotta support it.
Minecraft got a new update. This is a slow week, everybody. This is interesting because I didn't understand what this was. This is a thing called Tricky Trials that's now in Minecraft, where basically if you dig down far enough and there's like maps that'll show you where to dig and go, you come into these areas with this kind of copper walls, and it's these big challenge areas where there's like enemies, and then there's traps, and then there's different rooms to go through.
Yeah.
And then if you get to the end, you get a key where you can unlock like some high tier pickups, basically.
Yeah.
I hope you guys appreciate that description, because in order to tell you that, I had to go watch a Minecraft YouTuber, and I didn't want to fucking do that.
Wow.
I don't want to do that.
YouTuber? This is like 15 years ago YouTubing.
They're all like 14. I don't want to listen to that. But I watched somebody do it and fast forward a little bit, and I was like, okay, that's an interesting add to the Minecraft idea.
Seems fun.
Yeah.
Not for me though. I like to just build all the way to the center of the earth and then make a little house, and then I go, I don't want to play anymore.
I had a friend. I had a friend who, when she just was like wanting to have downtime, she had a Minecraft game where she would just start a Minecraft game and she would just start excavating the land all the way to the bottom, one row at a time.
Yeah.
And like putting all that in boxes and then going down and doing more and doing more and doing more and doing more.
Comforting to do that.
Yeah.
I used to do
destroying the world one shovelful of dirt at a time.
Because I do that. I'll dig till I get to a cave, and then I just hollow out a mountain.
Yeah.
Essentially. Not the whole world. Who has that kind of time?
Well, I don't think it was. I think that it's also one of those things where it's like, well, this is a Sisyphusian task. I know I will never finish, right? That my computer will die before I'm able to actually mine the world.
Do you think when the like enemies are spawning, they're like one day they spawn and there's mountains and trees everywhere, and the next day they spawn, it's just like a vast desert, and they're just what? Plummeting to the nothingness.
Yacht Club Games had a little thing where they showed some stuff off. So Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon is getting an expansion called Paradox Pack that has some new characters, some new environments, some new stuff. This was not my favorite iteration of Shovel Knight, but you know, let's get some new stuff.
Toledo.
The big thing is for the 10th anniversary, they're putting out this thing called the Shovel of Hope DX, which is all of the expansions and everything all together into one thing.
Nice.
And more. So
and then some.
It's got all of the normal stuff, but they've got rewind and save states. So if you want to, if you don't want to deal with trying to do it all in one go, you can rewind. There's also 20 playable characters. I remember there being like 5, so I'm not sure where all these guys. I mean, these are all enemies and different bosses from the game. There's now co-op. You can play 2 players online.
Do you want to play 2 players, Jeff?
With Shovel Knight?
Yeah, you want me and you play Shovel Knight?
I don't know if Shovel Knight's the one to play, but you can fight against. You can customize. They even put in a thing you can customize like your gender and stuff. So there's like
how can you even tell your gender?
Did they show? Oh, they'll show it later.
They're like
there you go, body swap. So it's like it's a slightly thinner. Like just a little bit more in the midsection.
I can say I am not slightly thinner in the midsection.
Yeah.
Make me a fat.
Yeah. They also have. Well, actually, they do have this thing they show here where they say costume body swap, but then they switch it to fish head and it really briefly, and it shows like as a fish head. So I think they added a bunch of other stuff that you can alter.
You just like fully make your own character.
Oh, actually,
finally, I can play the non-binary fish head knight that I've always wanted to.
No, they have a thing you could do.
You could make Bigum.
They've got built-in cheats now, so you can be giant.
That's
like you
amazing.
can make just take up the entire screen or have infinite like whatever. It seems like a really good addition, right?
Yeah.
They just keep adding quality of life to this game, and Shovel Knight's great. I think everybody should play it if you've never gotten around to it.
I don't know anybody who doesn't like Shovel Knight.
I think everybody who's played Shovel Knight likes it, but I think there's a lot of people who just don't.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it looks okay. Probably not for me. It's like, it's actually way better than it looks like just from the outside.
I'm just not good enough of a gamer to get very far in it.
See, that's what I thought. But
bad.
Then there's all these like there's like these like tools that you can get that make all the platforming way easier. And so, yeah, I'm with you where when you see what it looks like it's going to be ridiculous, but then it's not.
Yeah.
So
then you get good.
They also teased very briefly like what's coming next, and it was just a picture of the Yacht Club's game logo, but it was in 3D.
Ooh.
Which they've never done before. So, in fact, I think the first Shovel Knight was like built with the limitations of like an NES in mind. So
I like that.
Going to 3D is interesting. I'd like to see what they're going to do next. They also had a trailer for Mina the Hollower, which is the next game they're making where you play as a little mouse lady.
Oh, cute.
And it's like a top-down game where you burrow under the ground, and it's got all kinds of little mechanics. I cannot wait to check it out.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Looks great.
That looks really fun.
Yep. Let's see. Last on the trailer parade. Oh, because we've got 5 minutes left.
Oh.
Forza Horizon 5 has a bunch of new cars, including some icons. So they have the Knight Rider kit car.
Nice.
Which has a separate skin for pursuit mode. They have a Back to the Future DeLorean and the Jeeps from Jurassic Park.
Nice.
Which is pretty fun.
Man, that movie was great for coming out in the 70s.
Or Jurassic Park Part 2. Or no. Back to the Future Part 2, the one with the Mr. Fusion and stuff. So it's not the OG DeLorean. It's funny, though, they have this little trailer where they do stuff that's obviously in Forza, but to make it kind of like, they show the DeLorean driving in front of a train. When they show the kit from Knight Rider, they've got it through the desert like it does in the intro to Knight Rider.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Do you think the Knight Rider, Kit talks to you while you're playing?
I didn't see any indication that was the case.
Because that would be great.
But yeah,
I don't think is that actor still alive, Mr. Feeney?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea. Anyway, those are getting added, so check that out. There's going to be a Lords of the Fallen 2, and it's going to be an Epic exclusive in addition to consoles, coming 2026. Lords of the Fallen. Last year they put out a game called Lords of the Fallen. Technically, it was Lords of the Fallen 2 because there already was a Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah.
But it was a reboot. So now they're putting out Lords of the Fallen 2, which is Lords of the Fallen 3.
That's confusing.
But it's not actually called Lords of the Fallen 2. It's called...
this is the worst conversation we've ever had.
I know. Can't even see. Let's see. It was called something else. It's called like Kingdoms of the Fallen or something like that.
Yeah.
Let me search for the word fallen in this news article and maybe I can find it, even though it's going to be every word in this news article.
Yep.
Lords of the Fallen 3 is about Death of the Fallen is going to be Lords of the Fallen 2.
I feel like it was the
3.
death of the me.
Yeah.
This whole time.
Amanda, this is amazing.
What is it?
There was a game 20 years ago that started. It was showed off at E3 2004. It was an Xbox game for the OG Xbox that was called Age of Pirates Captain Blood, and it was a game. It was a pirate adventure game that was being made for the original Xbox, and it got into a weird licensing bullshit thing.
Yeah.
And there was a dispute between the company that like owned the company that made it and the company that was publishing it. And apparently by the time it got resolved, they decided to scrap it. Well, they decided to put it out. So it's coming out now.
I want that for every game that gets it. If you announce it, you have to release it.
And it looks like an Xbox game, except it looks like it's got like better textures and lighting than it did, so it looks like it's been upscaled. But like once you see that lady character, you're just like, oh, this is a 2004 game.
Yeah, for
to be
sure.
certain. The amount of cleavage coming off of this lady.
Yeah, her whole vibe is a couple of years ago, 20
like,
years ago.
The main character is like, he's just he looks so like an Xbox guy, and he's oh my goodness.
I'm in.
I really want to play this game. Like, it looks
something
amazing.
about it looks so stupid that I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
It looks like such a throwback. It's amazing. It's like I swear to God, I've played this game, but I haven't.
Yeah.
It never existed, and I desperately want to play it now.
This is one of those. This is like Mandela effect games. Like, oh yeah, you don't remember this game?
You don't remember Captain Blood?
OG Xbox. We played it way back when.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I think this is great.
Yeah.
This is one of the best things I've seen this week.
So into I feel like somebody like walked into a room and all that was in there was this one game, and he's like, why did we never release this?
It's so 2005.
Yeah, it's just so dated.
It's like I look at it and I feel younger because of the jokes and the gameplay and the
so
weird
funny.
character models and all the stuff, and I'm just like, goddamn, man. 100%.
God, even the way the
blood, the Captain Blood,
the way the weapons, like he holds them on his sides, the way they look is like dated. They don't do that anymore.
It looks like a horrible Joe Madera ripoff art style.
Yeah.
Like he's got a lot of he got like daggers and cutlasses and stuff,
just
and
hanging off of him.
And he's all like, he's got the arm hair and like just oh my goodness, I love it. Go check it out. Captain Blood, official revealed trailer. It's got a nice little narrative voiceover too, where they're talking about it and everything. So
delightful.
Time Splitters. Oh boy. Okay, fast. Time Splitters is coming out for the PS4 or PS5.
Cool.
Singapore ratings boards leaked, or Taiwanese rating boards leaked that the way they always do. There's been a PEGI rating for the original Resident Evil. This is an indication that they might be re-releasing the original Resident Evil, not the remake, which is currently what's out there, or that we also might be looking down the line at this is a PEGI rating for the original Resident Evil.
Yeah,
probably it's a re-release. There's a offhand chance it could be like a remake.
Cool.
Ubisoft delisted Beyond Good and Evil on Steam because there might be a remaster. Ubisoft had a conference. There is a remaster. It is out right now. They remastered Beyond Good and Evil 2, or Beyond Good and Evil. We're probably going to play it next week.
Nice.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Manor Lords is like a medieval city simulator game. It's got all of its characters are named after like census records from like the 1400s or something like that.
Yeah.
And one of the characters' name is CUNTZ.
Cunts.
So
I wasn't gonna say it, but I had to.
Apparently, this is just a random name that can be assigned to any villager in your village, and the developer was asking people online, do you guys want us to take this out? We've started a few people we've heard that are upset by this.
It's my favorite cuss word.
And everybody online is overwhelmingly like, do not take it out of the game.
It makes my day so much brighter every time I run into a cunt.
Yep. Well, here's this is from the guy that wrote the article. This is his. That's a grave digger. And so you just see this guy wandering around your village.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Elden Ring is getting another manga.
I didn't know they had a manga.
It's a gag manga. They have a gag manga that they started up last year, the year before, where it's like the Tarnished doesn't understand what's going on in the world, and like it's I don't think it's very funny personally.
Yeah. Is it a little like memey? It sounds like it would be a meme.
Okay, so like one of the first things that happens is Melina shows up and the Tarnished is face down on the ground dead with their butt hanging out, and she's like trying to give him the flask, but she's like, I don't know where to put him. And then when he wakes up, the two flasks are like attached to his butt cheeks, like one on each cheek, like they've been used suction to like put them on there. And I'm just like, that's fine.
That feels like 2004 humor.
Yeah. I'm a little more excited about this, though, because this is a spin-off about all of the NPCs in the game. So you've got Patches and Rodrika and what's his face, and the other one, and
perfect.
Yes,
all your favorites are here.
If I had been podcasting for 2 hours and 40 minutes, I would have.
I just want to play it.
Blackguard Boggart. Patches Alexander Rodriguez. That snake lady.
The snake lady is the one you made me watch you play when you played when it first came out. We would like record something, and then at the end of the day you'd be like, oh, you want to see this cool character? It was always the snake lady. Everything that happened, it was the snake lady.
Her?
I think so.
She's like
it was
hunched over?
Snake lady, yeah.
And then she turns into a big snake?
Yeah.
Yep. Zarias? Well, anyway, in any case, these are all fucking weirdos, so it would be better to make a manga about them than about the like earth-shattering. Like if you were going to make a serious thing about the main story, and why would you? You can already play it.
Yeah.
So, but that's going to be coming out pretty soon, and
Fun.
I'll give it a shot. Oh, and also Seamster Bach, the goodest of boys. He has a quest where he follows you around and alters your clothes for free. And then at the end, he asks you to give him a respect token so that he can go get turned into a person because he's so hideously ugly. And if you do that, he shows up as a dead body because you can't get respect unless you have the rune for it.
Yeah.
So the way that you successfully complete his quest is you go find a little token, and when you hold it up, it says, "You're beautiful."
Aww.
And then he's like, "Did you hear that? That sounded like my mom. Do you really think that?" And my favorite part is that he asks you, "Do you really think I'm beautiful?" And you could be like, no. But if you say yes, then he's just like, "Oh, you're my best friend and I love you." And with that, I'm going to play Elden Ring. Patreon.com/RageSelect. Help us out. Come to the Discord.
Give us respect tokens.
That's right.
Tell us you love us.
Tell us that. Oh, my God.
With financial compensation.
Well, you know what the worst part is?
What?
I'm going to stream. I told the Discord I would stream Elden Ring to them.
Oh,
so
my God.
I'm going to do that now.
Heck yeah.
So that's it. That's all I got. When I come back, I will have beaten Elden Ring, and I will be happy again.
I will be complete.
Get out of here.